Hello.
Hello, everybody. We have liftoff, back in action. Power break for me and Henry.
Power break.
We did our 100 star jumps. We did it. Henry did 5,000 push-ups like a boss. We're back. How's it going, everybody? How you doing, buddy? Hello, everybody in the chat. Big love to the new followers. Hebridean has subscribed. Brackets Prime. I don't even know what that means, but that sounds amazing. Thank you, Hebridean. And Lord Bald has also followed. Hello, everyone.
What?
I know. Loving the subs, loving the subs. So, guys, in the chat, whoever is playing in that free roll, the 32 red free roll that is on now, it's still in late registration, guys. If you want to get in it, the password is Sunny Beach.
90 minutes late reg, guys.
Yep, 90 minutes of late reg, guys. So, if you want to hop in, get on 32 red poker, create an account if you have not yet created one, hop in the free roll. It's all free, it's all free.
Free money.
So, guys, hi, Matza, how are you doing, buddy? This is 2-5-10 no limit. 5-10. 5-10, guys, sorry.
5-10.
So, guys, because we are currently having a short-handed game, which is going to be some Fast and Furious viewing, which is pretty good for us. And you can see, as you can see, Jordan Allen, one of my main pals, under the gun with the Ace King. He opens and gets no action. You can see Eddie there in seat 4. He made a good profit on the last 2-5 table, I believe.
I think he said he finished up slightly because of that flush hand against K-hand. You know, when he had the ace jack, I think he lost about 800-900 in that hand.
Ah, okay,
Made the correct call on the flop and turn, and then obviously K-hand made the flush on the river. So yeah, he did get it. But no, he's been grinding. Obviously, we're going to try and be unbiased.
Sure.
Deep down, we're rooting for our boy Jordy.
Come on,
Jordy. Ship it.
Deep, very deep down, clearly.
Ship it.
You can see Carol there under the gun. He made some profit last time on the stream also.
Yeah, he did. And it's going to be really interesting. Being a short-handed game, the ranges are going to be like adjusted massively.
They should be.
Going to bring a different dynamic to the game. And I love short-handed poker personally. I know you do. You crush the spin and goes.
Yep.
So you're going to be like in the know here in terms of ranges and how wide you should be.
Sure. I mean, obviously, the one major difference is that when you're playing like spins, it's short stack poker to an extent. Obviously, you're starting with 25 bigs, whereas the guys here are sitting with 150 bigs. So, but in terms of adjusting the ranges, you definitely are going to have to play a little wider than you normally would. Anybody who always plays full ring poker, let's just say for an example, you get a hand like Ace-10 off under the gun, it's going to be a pretty easy fold. Whereas in a four-handed game, Ace-10 off under the gun actually becomes a premium.
Yeah, it's up there.
So that's the adjustment that you need to make. Now, interesting, under the gun from Ed makes it 30 euros. This is a candidate for a 3-bet for Jord, and knowing him, I feel like he will 3-bet here. Jordy likes to play aggressively with these type of hands. And it's a good hand selection to 3-bet with, Ace-10 off.
Is.
Now, Ed, as we can see, has Ace-10 suited. I would peel in position. Looks as if Ed will do so. So, this can be a spot in poker where position can be key. Interesting to see what happens here if the board bricks.
Obviously, Jordan with the aggression pre-flop and betting advantage in terms he's first to act.
I believe it's come King, Queen, Deuce, and it's the board that looks black. So if Jordy has backdoor clubs, for example, he doesn't, but this is a decent spot to continue with the C-bet. If we think ranges, if Ed has kings or queens, typically he's going to 4-bet pre in a four-handed game.
Ace queen as well, you think he would be 4-betting
What's happened
as well.
Here? And nothing's happened yet.
Apologies about the graphics, guys. Slowly catching up. There is 225 in the pot.
Now Jordy's going to C-bet, which is definitely fine on a board like this. As I say, if Ed has a hand like kings, queens, ace-king, he's probably going to 4-bet them. So unless he has a hand like king-queen or maybe king-jack suited, he will have some queen-jack suited, queen-10 suited that will call a C-bet. Now Ed's going to float. I mean, it's not a pure float. We can see he's drawing to the nuts with the jack. Now this is interesting on a blank. Does Jordy fire turn? Now, if we analyze spots, logically, Jordy should have a range advantage here.
Yeah, for sure.
But he is going to slow down. Now, will Ed elect to fire?
What are you doing in Ed's spot here?
I'm going to bet, I think, because Jordy should be double barreling here with every ace-king. Every set should double barrel to get value and protect.
Is Jordy just going to stick it in his eye here with the ace of clubs?
We can't really properly represent it, in my opinion. It's going to go to showdown. They're going to chop it up. That's a spot where let's just, if Jordy has a hand like ace-jack of clubs, ace-10 of clubs, even a hand that can 3-bet out of the small blind 8-9 of clubs, 9-10 of clubs, he's going to barrel it.
Yeah.
We have the range advantage. We've turned additional equity with our flush draw.
That makes sense.
We're going to bet the turn. So if you all of a sudden check turn here and then just
bomb river,
pot river, doesn't really make that much sense. I would favor, if we're going to decide to barrel off here, we should just bet turn and then smash river.
That makes sense.
In any case, I mean, that might have been a spot. If Ed thinks that Geordie literally has like no real showdown value, Ed can just bet small there and just try and take the whole pot.
Yeah, that's true.
It's definitely feasible that Ed could check back the turn with a hand like King Jack, even a hand like Queen Jack suited, that when Geordie checks turn and river, Geordie will not have aces, will not have ace king, won't even have any kings. Yeah. He's probably going to bet value on the river. So anyway, in any case, they're going to chop it up.
That makes sense. And Carroll waking up with kings in the small blinds folded round to him.
He's loving life.
And small blind versus big blind, always a really interesting situation to find yourself in. It looks like he's gone for the 5x here. He's gone for the 4x.
Okay. Unfortunately for him, Ed wakes up with a pretty raggy hand.
Do you think he would have pilled if it was suited there, king 4?
Sure, I think so. I mean, I think that you are supposed to, especially in a short-handed game, like we said, you've got to widen your ranges. And position is massive in a short-handed game. Position's massive always, but especially short-handed. I play a lot of 2-5 Zoom online, so when you're six-handed, you can get into quite a lot of battles in the small and big blind.
Yeah, you can.
There's lots and lots of 3-betting from the big blind versus small blind opens.
Sure.
Stuff like this. In any case, on we go.
I also go on.
No, please.
I was going to say, I also find in those types of battles, small blind versus big blind, I really struggle with assigning my opponent a set range. It almost brings back the old school leveling aspect of poker that we had back in 2006 and 7.
Definitely.
But yeah, we'll jump back into the action here.
No worries.
Everett has flopped the top pair.
So Carroll opens button. Everett completes in the big blind. Goes check. I like this check from Carroll. We do have some showdown, but we don't really have backdoors. I think if he has the ace of clubs in his hand here, it becomes a better c-bet.
Yeah.
But
sure.
this texture of flop. The big blind can be hitting a decent amount of this. Even 9-10, Jack-10, all the 8-9x, and even all the King-X, none of them are going to fold. And we don't really want to just go ballistic and barrel off with Ace-10 off on a King-8-7 club. Pretty standard stuff.
I think we are going to see fairly standard stuff from these four. They all grind for a living. They all play 5-10 quite comfortably. I know some of them play higher stakes as well. So it's going to be interesting to see that four guys that really understand the game.
Exactly.
I'm looking forward to it, and it's going to be interesting to see get any huge pots as well. So they are stacked at the moment with about 150 bigs each.
Sure. Now here's an example of what we were saying about widening your opening ranges. In a full ring game, 8-5 of diamonds would just be a mandatory fold, but four-handed, hands like this, speculative suited connected hands, especially when you're playing so deep, like you just alluded to, everyone's 150 to 200 bigs deep.
Yeah.
If you get 3-bet, you can peel with some 7-8 suited type hands, and if you make a big hand, you can win a lot of money.
Definitely.
So anyway, but yeah, for sure, with the biggest respect and all the love to some of the low stakes games that we have watched, I think the number one leak that we see in these low stakes games is people calling way too much. Even with the weak ranges, they just want to see a flop. They just decide, I want to get involved. Whereas these guys are unlikely to get too spewy pre. But as the dynamic builds between players, that's when you can start to see some fireworks happen where, already we've seen Carroll open 3 out of the first 5 hands.
Yeah.
So he looks like he wants to be the guy that's going to drive the action.
It'll also be interesting, to start off with, I don't think any of these guys have played with each other. And being the competent players that they are, it might take just 15, 20 minutes for them to settle down, settle in, try and work out how their opponents play. Obviously, you've already correctly picked up that Carroll's doing most of the opening so far. Whether some of the other players pick up on that further down the line and then start exploiting that, it'll be interesting to see.
There's an example on the button, George King 6 off. Not the greatest hand in the world, but on the button in the four-handed game, you can open.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, both players peel. Interesting peel in the small from Carroll. I don't hate it at this stack depth. Lots of players will use that as a 3-bet bluff in the small blind versus a button open. Now,
Geordie does elect to c-bet here, and Carroll...
I mean, he's definitely getting called on the flop by Carroll. Jordy will be thinking in his mind here that, you know, Carol in the small blind, if Carol has a hand like ace king, ace queen, even like nines, they're going to 3-bet most of these hands.
Yeah.
So it seems okay for him to take a stab. Jordy probably shuts down here, I think. No, he's going to go
Does
again.
have the king of diamonds in his hand.
See, I like this from Jord. He's picking up that Carol isn't very ace-x heavy.
Capped.
Yeah,
it's very capped.
Exactly.
Like 9x, like 9-8 suited, 9-10 suited, queen 10, queen jack,
Sure.
stuff like that.
Quite like the sizing. Also, he's betting just over half the pot, so it's, you know, perfectly feasible that an ace-x can double barrel here.
And yeah, he does get it through, and I like it. I know you've been trying to help me out a lot with like using certain hand selection in terms of your holdings, like the king of diamonds, and using certain board textures to turn that into a bluff.
Sure.
Go on, buddy. Charger.
So anyway, Jordan picking up the pot with king high, a nice double barrel. Martiak looks like a Poker Stars table here. Can close the stream? Say it isn't so. Stay with us, my friend. Learn some, you know, high stakes, 5-10 short-handed stuff.
Looks like a Poker Stars.
You know, some people though enjoy to just see the crash bang wallop.
Yeah.
Let's all get it in pre 6-way to the flop,
I completely
etc.
understand.
You know, whereas poker purists will enjoy this, I think, because four-handed,
I think so.
4 strong players be a lot of fun.
I think you can learn a lot from a game like this.
Sure.
You will learn a lot from watching players
Absolutely.
like this. You know, you don't get many wrecks just like sitting down in a 5-10 game. So
Yeah.
seeing 4 competent players just battle it out, I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited. I know I'm going to be learning a few things, and having you alongside me in the booth explaining why players are doing certain things as well. I'm looking forward to the next 2 hours for sure. Just going to grab them drinks, buddy.
By all
Do
means.
you want some tea?
Yep, sure. Ship it bro says password please. Your wish is my command, my friend. There is still some time, 90 minutes of late reg in the free roll. There you are. Dark Angel, I beat you to it this time. Thank you, my friend.
Need more milk?
Perfect. So under the gun, ace-9 of clubs. Now here we go. Now this can be action. So in a 4-handed game, Jacks, I think you should 3-bet, and he does. I like how Jordy's come out and started playing so far. Now Carol has a nice hand that can peel in position. I expect him to peel. Doesn't look like the type of guy that's going to raise fold to a 3-bet 2-2 often with like a good suited ace in a 4-handed game. Now Jack high with 2 clubs is the action flop.
Be showers for one of them, that's for sure.
I like this from Jordy. He's you know, out of position, 3-betting close to 4x. You can actually go bigger here. I make, in general, when I play cash games, when I'm out of position, big sizings is in vogue. You can 3-bet up to, you know, 4.5, 5x for absolutely sure. And a hand like Jack's, you know, it does require some protection. Now Jord bets half pot.
1 over to his pair of jacks. He has got backdoor hearts to go with it as well.
Now, unless Carol wants to just get really out of line here, this should just be a fold. Doesn't really have any backdoors. I mean, this is a spot, you know, if he's thinking about making a play, what type of hands would raise the flop here, for example? Like a hand like King Queen, we're typically just going to call. All of our pocket pairs would typically just call. So if you raise the flop here, you're really representing
Like 5s.
ace, queen, 5s, 3s.
And do you think in a short-handed game he's ever 4-betting with ace queen?
You can be. You definitely could. Ace queen off, you could use as a 4-bet bluff. You know, I mean, it kind of depends. Not even always as a 4-bet bluff. If you're playing someone who's really ballistic, you could 4-bet to 6-bet shove. Like this is where it all comes down to, you know, which players are at the table, basically.
Yeah, for sure.
And as we said, the players will be feeling each other out. You know, trying to get a read.
Yeah, first
seeing
15,
how
20
exactly.
minutes or so. Fairly
Precisely.
standard open from Ed here from under the gun, raising up to 30 with the queen jack of clubs.
Yep.
Jordy in the small blind here, player behind.
It's okay to just fold the king.
Standard fold.
Carol, interesting that he just... See, a lot of respect being shown. A lot of players will just defend this hand in the big blind. In any case. Hey, Kupo, on my way to the casino. See you in a bit. Look forward to it.
Good luck,
Come and introduce yourself, my friend. Martelak says, better to check call the flop with jacks. Definitely could have. It's one of these spots when you're out of position. The only problem is when you check, you kind of do open the door for your opponent to just decide, I'm going to go 3 here. Because I think that, you know, aces and kings and ace queen, we're normally going to c-bet. So when we check, we're kind of either trapping with a hand like 3 queens,
Yep.
or we're just sort of capped and going to have a lot of like 9s to jacks type hands and some ace highs that can just, be forced to fold under a lot of pressure.
It also makes it difficult, if the turn if you check and Carroll checks behind with the jacks there and a king or an ace peels off.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, you never,
Yeah.
you're in a tough spot.
Sure.
Afterwards. Fairly standard stuff here. Carroll seems to be going for the more passive approach out of the small blind, like we saw earlier on.
Yeah.
You said you would have preferred to 3-bet the queen jack offsuit
Yeah.
to the small blind. I personally 3-bet the king queen myself as well.
I play a very, you like to say balanced style in these spots, but in spots where if I don't want to peel in the small blind too often.
No.
Especially with a hand like king queen off. King queen suited, for example, becomes a much better peel. Because obviously we flop better, our hand can make a lot of really good top pairs. It's okay at this stack depth, and I think specifically four-handed, king queen off becomes a slightly better flat than it would at maybe 6 max or 9 max.
Yeah.
But yeah, and normally I'm going for 3-bets in spots like that. Also, a cool thing about like poker in general is that typically when you 3-bet out of the small blind, you have a much more linear range than if you 3-bet out of the big blind, because when you get in the big blind, you have a good price to just call raises. So typically, let's say you have jack 9 off in the big and you're facing a 2.5x, you just defend.
Yeah.
Right? So when you 3-bet, you're much more polar to having a really trashy hand that doesn't have any value post, and your premium hands. Like, they're the hands that are going to want to 3-bet out of the big blind.
For sure.
Whereas in the small blind, you have way more combos of stuff that doesn't want to peel because it's out of position, and you've got the big blind behind.
For sure.
Anyway.
Do you mind going into a bit of detail what you mean by linear there? So
Sure.
I'm not familiar with.
So a linear range in terms of, think of poker like a scale.
Yep.
Like a scale of hands, and in the small blind you're going to have lots of hands that want to make some 3-bets against like a button open. Even like 5-6 suited way up to king jack off or ace jack off. All of these hands become viable 3-bets.
Right.
Whereas if you have 5-6 suited in the big blind, and the button opens, obviously you can still 3-bet, but typically people, when you're getting a better price in the big blind to just see a flop, people will just call.
Fair enough.
So when they 3-bet out the big blind, this is not always the case, but as a general rule, when people 3-bet out the big blind, they're more polarized. So you have polarized in the big blind, really good hand, really crap hand, and then in the small blind more linear because there are way more hand combos that want to 3-bet. If that makes sense.
That does make sense. That makes perfect sense. And Everett decided to give up after c-betting the flop and Jordan's correctly even sniffed out that his ace high is good.
He called the c-bet.
Called the c-bet on the flop, and see if he's going to turn his hand.
I think he's going to bet about 80 here. Now Jordy, very strong start to the table. There's really nothing that Evert can do here.
And Everett snap folds with a little cheeky smile there.
Strong start from Jordy, like to see it. Floating the flop essentially, although you can have the best hand as well.
Yeah.
Interesting that he elects to bet the turn. This is where the levels of poker come in. Like, would Jordy bet with a 6 or a deuce? He wouldn't, or he shouldn't. He should just check back. He got some showdown value.
For sure.
So typically when Jordy bets the turn, he's repping a king, mostly. And you can have some combo draws. I mean, you could have a hand here like, say, 7-9 of diamonds, 7-10 of diamonds.
For sure.
That calls the flop, picks up additional equity on the turn, and elects to fire. Anyway, he picks it up.
Hodge 751 in the building. Hey guys, what up?
Hello, buddy.
How's it going? Miles is saying ace-3 sucker kicker. Hey, he had the best hand the entire way.
Exactly.
Don't hate, appreciate. Right?
Super Dave 1989 with the follow. Thank you, buddy.
Thanks for tuning in, bud.
But yeah, as we were saying, guys, this particular TV table is going to give us a chance to delve a little more into the strategy side of poker.
Yeah.
You know from anyone following the stream that we like to give you a good mix of fun.
We've struggled to analyse certain spots over the days.
So, we like to give you a good mixture of fun and strat. This table is going to be a bit more serious, I would say. It's going to be a lot more fun. Now, Ed, not more fun, what was I talking about? Now, here is a prime example of what I was discussing. 4-5 of hearts. I like this 3-bet. I mean, it's at the very low end of the scale of hands that you should select to 3-bet. Typically, I would not. I have a rate. We talked about the line. Typically, for every spot at the table when I'm playing cash, I will have hands that I'm going to have in the 3-bet range, hands that I'll have a flat range, hands that will fold, etc. So I might look for a hand slightly better than 4-5 suited, maybe like a 6-7 suited or a 7-8 suited or something like this. It doesn't feel like there's a massive difference between 4-5 suited and 6-7 suited, but you would be surprised. And action central.
And what are your thoughts on Geordie's flat from the small blind?
Geordie's overcall at this stack depth is fine. I mean, we are like 180 bigs deep, and he's flicking in 9 bigs of that 180 bigs. So we're flicking in 1/20th of our stack, you know, so it's not too dangerous. Now, Evert check back on the flop, interesting, which I think is good. Geordie's going to be very pair heavy in the small when he overcalls. He's going to have lots of 8s, 9s, 10s, jacks that are not going to fold to a flop bet. And Geordie will not have many hands like ace king. They're going to 4-bet. So he's going to have a hand often, Geordie, like king queen of hearts or something like that as well as pairs. Now, Geordie sniffed this bluff out on the turn. Really, like, he's playing very well so far. Let's see if Evert elects to bomb this river. Now, Evert, if he bets river, he's trying to get Geordie to fold a hand like 10s with a club. It's basically what he's targeting. Like, if Geordie has ace queen of hearts here, for example, he's not going to lay it down. But he's targeting to get Geordie to fold 8s through jacks with a club. I mean, it's ambitious, right, to be trying to get ace queen suited to fold here.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a good bet. I think it's going to work. Now, but does Geordie sniff it out? Obviously, this ace is the card for Evert that he can rep. Well played. It gets Geordie to fold the best hand.
Everett looking pretty happy.
He shows it, I think, did he? Did he show?
Yeah, he did, yeah.
Now, so we always end up building dynamics in these spots. He may be wanting to show this hand to set up, you know, spots where he has it in the future or whatever, and you can get into people's minds like, oh, he showed it last time, that means he must have it this time. But that can actually mean that he doesn't have to have it this time. You know, all this kind of layers of poker.
Do you think Everett could ever check back here with the showdown value and say that Geordie did have like a hand like king queen with the king of clubs? Or?
I think if we're gonna bet the turn, we need to bet the river. It's a spot where, as I say, I don't think Geordie has offsuit combos of Broadway in the small blind. He's not going to flat them.
That's very true.
So he's very weighted towards pairs, like 8s through jacks or whatever. Queen's probably 4-bets. You know, he's probably very weighted to pairs and suited Broadway, suited big aces that don't want to 4-bet get it in. Yeah. Like ace queen of hearts there, for example, Geordie could peel behind.
For sure.
So if we're going to bet the turn, I think we're basically targeting to get a pair with a club to fold, so we should bet the river. But he could have feasibly checked back turn there, and then just check back and hope to be good against a queen jack of diamonds or something that Geordie may have.
I completely understand you. Well, it was an interesting line regardless, and he did get it through. And Geordie back to starting stack.
Yep. Hey, Sleeping Satan has followed. Thank you very much, buddy.
Boom.
And guys, if you want to have any discussion about the hands, about the strategy behind the hands, if you disagree with anything I'm saying, hey, please let me know. Do not pretend to be the oracle of poker analytics, but we'll try my best to provide you guys with my opinion on the spots. And if I'm wrong, hey, I've been wrong before. It's not the end of the world.
I thought that was Carol that just folded out a small blind there, but he didn't.
Now that spot, by the way, just for an additional bit of info, if Geordie had the 8 of clubs in that hand, may have changed his thought process, because obviously you block some of the flush combos that Everett could feasibly check back. Like, Everett can have queen jack of clubs on that flop and check back, because it's 7-6-5 club.
Yeah.
You can check back for a bit of deception, and when a club comes, your opponent, people often just assume, oh, he doesn't have it here, because he would c-bet. But in modern poker, people are checking back these combos a lot more.
Everett just flops the world here.
Big here.
Ed opened up to 40 from the small blind pre-flop, and Everett did flat.
It's a big raise. I do like raising here. There are a lot of draws on the board. You know, we can feasibly represent a bunch of hands like King X of diamonds, Queen 10, 8-10, you know, even 7-10, some Queen 8s. We can make a play with a gut shot, hoping to just take it down. Unfortunately for him, Ed has the weaker part of his range and just lets it go.
And the being on the phone seems to be working for Everett. We've seen it not work that much for Kevin, but it's working for Everett so far. And he's up about 400 or so.
Yeah,
I
good
believe he
start.
sat down with about 2.2k.
Yeah, Geordie is level. He's sat with 1.5.
Carol-
Ed up 100. Carol down maybe 300.
Yeah, I believe so.
Martiak, 4-5 suited versus 8s was very nicely analysed. Thank
thanks,
you
bud.
very much. I'm glad you are in agreement.
Wasn't Martiak just trolling us saying he was leaving? Now he's back. Thanks for sticking around, buddy. We appreciate having
Here
you
we
here.
go. That's what we want. That's what we want to see. Now, here we go. Now, these are two fun hands to watch. Now, what you're going to see a lot of is that typically in these short-handed games especially, people, I don't know, it's not necessarily the case, but people just think they're being abused when the button 3-bets.
For sure.
You know, they're like, oh, you're just at it.
For sure.
So Carol calls the 3-bet with Queen 10 of spades, don't mind it. Queen 10 of spades could actually be a candidate to 4-bet with sometimes, some percentage of the time. Now, interesting to see what Ed does. He does have the King of Hearts, which makes a C-bet more attractive. He goes for the check back, though. Now, I would lead with 100% frequency here as Carol. You know, Ed is checked back, which normally is going to indicate weakness, not always. You know, players who are properly balanced, you can check back here in Ed's seat with like Queen Jack of clubs or something.
For sure.
That's 3-bet pre, doesn't want to bet and play for stacks. You can check back with some of your weak top pairs.
Yep.
Carol should lead here, though.
Do you think that Carol, obviously Carol must know that
I
his
just,
queen high is never good. He's got no
course.
showdown value whatsoever. And this board smashes his range more than it's
It should hit his range more than Ed's. I would just, you know, in these spots, I like to put max pressure on the perceived capped ranges of my opponents if I believe them to be so.
Yeah.
So in this spot, I would just lead like 150 or something, 140. You can lead 75% pot in these spots. And even if your opponents suspect that you're at it, it's hard for them to do much.
For sure.
Also, having a 10 in our hand is really nice. Like, let's say I had 3-bet with 10s pre, which is definitely feasible. That could check back on a Jack 7-6. Huh?
Nice to meet you.
How you doing, mate?
Now I go to hotel.
How you doing, man?
Capo?
No, I can't now because I lose.
Cheers.
Now we go.
All right, mate. Enjoy.
Ed waking up with ace, king, offsuit again.
And you.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Up to 30 from under the gun. Geordie in the small blind.
He will
gonna
fold this hand.
hand.
We've actually seen some pretty premium holdings so far for a 4-handed game.
Yeah, for sure. I stacked that guy last night.
Did you?
I had kings against his 5-3, so I couldn't lose.
I would say couldn't win against that hand combo, but there you go. So guys, anybody playing the free roll, please let us know how you're getting on. I'd be interested to hear if anybody is crushing it up. And like I was saying earlier, our lovely partners, 32 Red Poker and Unibet, are putting on 7k worth of free rolls tomorrow, guys.
Boom.
So tune in and get involved. Now, beautiful little hand for Jord on the button. He will raise this hand, I'm pretty sure, as he should. 4-5 suited in position, you can win a big pot. Now, Ed will defend at least. I expect him just to call, and he does. This is much more fun. I can actually predict what's going to happen.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I can tell you're right in the zone at the moment, which is
So, like this check back from Geordie. Now, he's picked up a pair. Ed will lead here all the time. I expect him to bet around about 45 or so here. Kind of small sizings from people, which is intriguing.
that's half pot.
Geordie must call one now. There are a lot of draws out there. Ed is going to lead, presuming that we've given up on this spot a lot.
For sure.
Now, Ed has the ace of clubs. I expect him to check here. I think we can induce some bluffs and we can bluff catch. Although, if he thinks that Geordie checked back like a 7 or has like a 5, which is definitely feasible, then he can just bet for value. And having the ace of clubs is really important here, guys, because he blocks any nut flush draws that Geordie could have, which automatically rules out any ace-jack of clubs, ace-king of clubs, ace-x, any ace-x of clubs. Geordie cannot have them because, of course, we have the ace of clubs. Now, this would be pretty hero-y from Geordie if he wants to call. I would rather raise than call here. This is a spot where if I think my opponent he has
That's
gone for the
thick,
call,
yeah.
he's going to get the bad news. You know, the tough thing here is Ed does have a lot of bluffs. He has all the 8-9 combos, all the Jack-8 suiteds, all the diamond draws that didn't get there. So you can understand this call. But Ed chips up with the second pair of 10s, excuse me. Mark Lack, why do you like check back? I assume you mean with the 4-5 of spades hand. I mean, you can go one and done. I'm not saying it's awful, but, you know, the big blind, when they defend, they have a lot of, like, the 10x, 7x, 8-9s, Jack-8s, Jack-9s that all are going to want to continue. When you see bet flop, you're essentially trying to get a hand like King-Jack with no diamond to fold, maybe like Queen-Jack and stuff like this. You can bet the flop for sure. I'm not saying that would be bad. If there's a spade on the flop, Geordie's hand becomes a better c-bet because we have backdoor flushes to go with our backdoor straight draws. It's whatever. It's not a huge deal.
That's really interesting. Ed so far has folded almost every small blind when it's been folded around to him and just given Everett the pot. This time he decided to limp, and Everett straight away pumped up to 50 and took it down. So kind of just setting the tone there that, look, hey dude, you know, you can either keep folding your small blinds to me, but don't limp because I'll come after you. And he is currently up about 400 euros or so. So great start for him.
This is a definite trend in modern poker also, that when the small blind limps, the big blind with a lot of their trashy range just decide to 4.5 exit and try to take the pot down.
For sure. And Carol decided to let go of the 8-7 offsuit from under the gun.
Mandatory raise here from Ed on the button. Now, here we go. Geordie with the ace-queen of clubs. You can play this either way. I expect Geordie to 3-bet. He's in a four-handed game, ace-queen of clubs, very strong hand. Now, Ed may think that Geordie, wants to battle. That's a few times now.
Yeah, but he's
also what's important is Ed has already seen Geordie 3-bet ace-10 off.
Yep.
And he saw it at showdown, so that can be important. You may think that your opponent is only 3-betting premium stuff, but if you see at showdown ace-10.
For sure.
Yeah. So Jack-8, 7 and 2 diamonds, probably the worst flop ever for Geordie. I like the give up here. Our opponent's in position. It's very tough for us to barrel off. This is going to go check, bet, fold, mostly. Yeah, I mean, there's really not much Geordie can do there. Personally, I go bigger, by the way, out of position in these spots. I'm making it 135 or something like this. Because it's just pretty standard stuff. Your opponent's in position. You do not want to give them the price to just be able to call your 3-bets at will. They're in position. They are in, being on the button is just so underrated, especially in a four-handed game. If you're making it too small, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not a massive sizing error, but you want to charge your opponent the premium to continue.
Sure.
Anyway.
I'd like to see them start straddling. I think it would add a really interesting dynamic to the game.
It may happen later in the hand. So Everett with another nice hand, ace-queen off. Geordie, nothing to speak of with the 6-4. Same hand. Now, Carroll's been pretty passive so far. We've seen him just flatting when he's been 3-bet, or he hasn't wanted to inflate pots. He can play this either way. Personally,
timing tell here from him.
Personally, I would like a 3-bet. I think he's just called. Yeah, I don't mind it. You honestly can play this either way. The beauty of just defending here is that you underrepresent your hand. So ace-queen off, diamonds against ace-queen off.
It'd be interesting if the flop comes queen high or ace high.
So not much to speak of. Now Everett's going to c-bet a fair amount. I mean, there's not much to be worried about. Carroll can never fold on this flop. We have to call one at least. Now the interesting thing is, does Everett decide to barrel? He may already have showdown. It's an interesting one. You don't always even have to bet this flop.
And you might also think that Carroll has a lot of floats in his range as well.
Sure. King of clubs on the river. Not a great card for Carroll. But he's going to check and think he has enough showdown a lot of the time. Everett actually could have chosen to bet this river, try and fold out a 4 or a pair of 5s or something like this. Does have the queen of clubs, but again, like I was saying earlier, logistically, if Everett has ace-jack of clubs, all the club combos, he will double barrel his turn. So really, if you bet river, you're kind of represent the king. So, anyway, LPK Star has followed. Thank you very much.
That's going to be really interesting now that Carroll decides to just flat out of the big blind with a hand such as strong as ace-queen of diamonds, and the other players are definitely going to be picking up on that.
Exactly, that's again something to look at.
Has Carroll just left the table?
I don't think so.
He's got chips in his hand. He has. I believe he has.
Interesting.
Maybe he just.
Yeah, he's talking to Maxime. Maybe he thinks that he is
slightly out of. Well, not out. Not
yeah, maybe he
out
thinks that the game has no value. That can sometimes be the case.
That can be the case. You want to jump in there, buddy? Going to show the boys how it's done.
I could jump in there, but it's a bit on. Someone else is joining the table anyway as we speak.
Oh, nice.
Maybe two people.
A couple
actually.
of people.
It's a bit unfair for me to jump in. Actually, I find that ethically, even though I've only watched a few hands, not very fair for me to follow the coverage and then go and play.
I know exactly what you mean, for sure.
Hey, Donate Meshed. Hello, my friend. Finally got a good internet. Hey, good. We've missed you. Glad to have you in. Sleeping Satan, I'd like a 3-bet to 135 from Carol. 135 was the sizing I had suggested, so glad we're on the same page. Is it warm? It's fine. It's about, I don't know, 10 degrees here or something like that.
It's great in the apartment as well because we're like top floor.
We're in like a greenhouse, guys. We're in like a greenhouse.
Windows everywhere, 6th floor, so all the heat's like rising up to our room, and it's been sweating it a little bit for sure.
Now, Dark Angel had asked, is this going to be short-handed throughout? I think we're going to be adding more players as a lot of the regs who like to play 5-10 are at the Cash Game Festival dinner.
Yeah, it's a 2-2 now.
And
the action was dead, so we turned it into a 2-2.
can I join?
Yeah.
Go for it.
Really?
Go for it. I don't mind. Absolutely fine
I
by
don't
me.
know. How many seats have you got, Maxine?
Go and talk to him for a second.
Right.
It's fine. Mr. Henry Kilbane, I heard the words 2-2. Got excited. He's going to go and see what the situation is. Now, I believe, guys, that they are thinking about turning it into a 2-2 game, purely so we can fill the table. I don't mind. I actually quite enjoy commentating on short-handed, but the bosses, the powers that be, they will decide in these spots. So, Henry may go and join if it is a 2-2 game. So Ed opening on the button with the offsuit ace. Evert with this 3-bet in the small blind. I like it. King Jack off. One of those combinations of hands that we can play as a 3-bet from the small, especially against a button open that is going to be opening with a wide range of hands. Gets it through. So Evert has been very accomplished and confident so far. Taken down a bunch of pots. As you can see, Evert up around about 600 euros since the beginning of the stream. Ed about 300 euros. Jordy with a slight loss of maybe 200 to 300 euros so far. So Evert on the button, making it 30 with the King Queen. Very standard stuff. Ed in the big blind also going to let it go.
It's a tough lineup, mate. Tough lineup. We've got a guy coming to the table now. He's one of the best spin and go players in the world, apparently. Sitting down and plays 5-10 normally.
Okay.
He's played at the previous stops, played 5-10 at the previous stops, and he's flicked it in the 2-2 game just to be on the TV table.
I'd be interested to hear what his screen name is, just in case
Yeah?
I've battled him.
Really?
Just in case I've battled him in the past.
I bet you have, yeah, I'm sure you have. But I don't know, like, you got Geordie and Everett who are like 5-10 grinders. Do I really want to jump in like that game?
You can test yourself against the elite. I don't know. It's really up to yourself, my man.
And get rinsed on chat by everyone?
Now, Geordie on the button, Jack 7 of clubs. I would open this hand. I expect Geordie to do the same. Evert is defending with the 10-5 of diamonds, which is also fine. The stack depth. So, Jack 7 versus 10-5. Geordie not really getting many good flops so far. I expect him to c-bet this board. It's dry board. Probably going to go check bet call, which it does. Geordie be looking for a card like the Queen of Clubs is good here to barrel. Bad turn in terms of wanting to barrel off. I think this goes check. Makes a lot of sense. Evert can play this one of two ways. I think he bets small for value here. He'll be confident that his 10 is the best hand.
Trying to get a call from like ace high?
Yeah. I mean, Geordie could have a hand like a 5 even, even ace 4 that opens the button. We have some possible floats. We can have 8-9, hands like this.
For sure.
I expect him to bet, and he does. Bets half pot. Takes it down.
Oh, should I flip a coin or whether I'll join or not? Do you want to flip it? Alright, you flip it. Go on.
I honestly think, mate, it is all down to your
Go on,
decision.
flip it.
If you're not going to be comfortable,
I don't mind joining in just for the stream, you know. Right, so that's heads, that's tails. You flip it. Heads I join, tails I stay here.
heads he joins, guys. Tails he stays. Which one is heads?
That's heads.
And that's tails.
Yeah.
So heads he goes, tails he stays.
It's a €2 coin,
Heads,
guys.
heads, heads, heads. For the morale in the chat. Oh no, let's not mess this up. I don't know, it was poor. Hang on. That wasn't a flip either, was it? There we go.
Alright.
Tails.
Stay. Alright, cool.
Oh, sorry.
So-
There you go, guys. He stays. 2 out of 3. 2 out of 3.
Jeffrey being savage in the chat as usual.
I mean, I could go and join. So
Should we
it's a
just
possibility.
ditch this and go and play?
You know what we'll do is that
Should I do 2 or 3?
I will speak to Maxime, or we will speak to Maxime, and maybe with like 30 minutes left, I'll go and just cause some chaos. How about that?
Probably a plus EV coin for him. Well done. Oh, lovely.
Anyway, here comes our winner so far, Evert, on the button, making it 30 euros to go. Now, this is a little spewy, in my opinion, from Jard. Could be getting a bit frustrated. You know, 9-10 off. I'm not a huge fan of this peel. Ed's gone for the squeeze also, makes it 150. This is the problem when you have a good player behind you.
Yeah.
Like Ed, like, what are Jardy's strong hands that flatten the small?
Yeah, for sure.
Not that many strong hands. I actually like Ed's squeeze here because Evert is going to be opening with lots of hands. Jardy is just peeled. We can squeeze here and like pick up the pot a lot, pick up the dead money. Interesting that Evert does peel in position with ace-8 of hearts. Now Ed is waving, it could be waving the white flag. It's difficult to know. Obviously this board now is favouring Evert, as we can see. Now if Ed's going to check flop, bet and turn here doesn't make sense. I like the turn check. Evert also is going to check. Looks like he's just hoping that his ace high is good. I think he could have bet the turn there, Evert, to be honest.
You think this checks through? Does Evert ever think he has
I
the best
mean,
hand?
We only beat like king queen here really, so I think Evert will bluff in this spot. We're going to be up against ace king and ace queen a lot. It makes a lot of sense. I really like this from Evert because we have all the jack X in our range here. We don't have many flushes because our flush combos will either bet flop or turn.
Yeah.
Almost always. So when we bet here, now 220, so this is where like Ed will be analysing hand combos. We're basically betting 2/3 pot. What are we repping here? Because we can bet every jack for value, definitely. Right? Let's get that clear. We can bet. Yeah,
Wow,
good
what a call
call
from
from Ed.
Very cool.
Beautiful.
Yeah, really good call from Ed there, and obviously ran it through in his head. And
I think if Evert is going to bluff this hand, then starting to take off on the turn is probably good. Like on the turn, we can represent some, you know, club draws. Even like a hand like sixes that we don't bet the flop necessarily, we would bet the turn.
yeah.
So we can bet turn and bet river, perhaps. Yeah, like that's one of those spots where though Evert did correctly work out that like so much of the time he's just up against a better ace,
Yeah, for sure.
and he wants to try and get it to fold. Now, what you can do, which I'm not, you know, you can overbet that river, which I kind of like. You know,
Bet
then
like 400.
I mean, just bet like 500, and you know your opponent just has ace high,
high.
like a ton. They can have a hand like ace 4 suited that checks flop, checks turn. I don't know. Sometimes, you know, even though your opponent knows that you're just like, why are you overbetting here? But as long as you're doing that with a hand like king jack or something in that
Yeah, for
spot,
sure.
kind of depends. In any case,
Ed sniffed it out anyway, and again the size to a limp from the small blind, and Everett once again showing him that he's not going to let him get away with
yeah.
the limping in. Does make it 50. It's a great hand to do it with as well.
And bish bash bosh.
Must be nice.
Now Ed's just seen that hand with the ace 8. This may well go check bet call.
Yeah, I completely understand.
You know, like Ed has ace high. I mean, I think he can call one a decent amount, but he does just release.
That's a go.
Mr. Ocho, don't worry, the table is filling up as we speak. I believe the powers that be have decided to change the game to 2-2 or 2-5. We want to get. They want to have a full table. I'm happy with the short-handed nature of poker.
aren't you?
I do enjoy it, but
Yeah, I'm enjoying it.
the powers that be, they want to have a full table. So in the next sort of 10-15 minutes, you're going to see new players join the table, guys. So no sweats if that is what you prefer. Give us your thoughts, guys, in the chat. Do you prefer to watch? Like, do you enjoy watching the short-handed? Do you only want to watch poker that has like 8 or 9 people at the table? What do you reckon?
I'm really tempted to just go and knit it up. Look at Geordie.
Geordie's tilted, I think.
I might just go and sit next to Geordie and try and cheer him up a little bit. Wow.
Go and get in it.
Yeah?
Go and get in it.
Go on.
You can just play. You don't even need to go ballistic, do you?
No.
All right, Henry's going to show some heart.
Go on.
Henry's showing some heart and going to join.
Okay.
Wish him luck. Stick with me, guys. I will take the stream solo. How about it? Me and you, guys. Me and you. Anyway, so Henry's going to join. I can already see, guys. We are basically 6 or 7-handed now, so don't worry. 6 or 7-handed on the stream. So Roseboom says, get Ulan on the table. Ulan is at the Cash Game Festival VIP players meal, my friend. Maybe the guys will. I think the guys will be returning from the meal fairly soon. I think you're probably going to get people to jump in. So we will see. Don't worry, guys. We won't let you down. The table will fill up. So Geordie raising in the small with 8-5 of diamonds. Ed in the big blind defending Queen 3. Now Geordie has some backdoor straight draws and backdoor flush draws. I would expect him to continue. Ed's going to call one here. He has bottom pair. You know, he figures that Geordie's going to c-bet a decent amount. It does indeed go bet call. Now, you're in Geordie's seat, guys. What is one of our really good barrel cards? It is the Ace of Diamonds. So definitely going to bet the turn. I would expect him to bet around 110. Would be my sizing in a spot like this. Here we go. 105 euros is the bet from Geordie. Now Ed will be analysing hand combos, thinking what hands go bet. I would triple barrel all day long in this spot. But Geordie does get it through on the turn. Nice bet to pick it up. Classic example there, you know, of just picking up some additional turn equity. You know, we have a lot of ace-x in our range, probably more ace-x than Ed has. Certainly fair to say. Good spot to double barrel. Nice hand, Jordan. So like I was saying, guys, let me know, anybody who is in the free roll, anyone making a run, anything good happening, what are you all doing with your Friday night? Is anybody playing poker? Is anybody going out to do anything fun? Keep me entertained. I'm here solo, guys. I will try and give you the best analysis I can. You guys give me the entertainment. It seems like a fair deal. So as you can see, guys, Maxime talking to the players, probably discussing with them what they want to do. As you guys have said, it is 3-handed. He's probably discussing with them, should we change the game, change the stakes so we can fill the table. I believe they change it to 2-2, guys. Hey, Tower. That's Tower 1891. That's a man after my own heart right there. Drinking and playing online. Combining 2 of my favourite activities. Good to hear, buddy. Best of luck. Hope you win. Satan, gonna go and play 1-2 tonight. Fridays, all of the sputards come in and blast off when they bust out. Where are you, Satan, my friend? Whereabouts are you playing? Which casino or what games? I'm interested to hear. And good luck, mate. Good luck. I hope you make the wages. So sorry for the small break in play, guys. Ah, you're from Portland, Oregon. Cool. Nice to see you and nice to have an American presence in the chat. I can tell you some stories, Satan. I went to play after the World Series of Poker last year. I was in Vegas for 4 months, which is a very long time to be in Vegas for anybody who has been. And me and some of my friends we went to play cash in DC, in Washington, at the, what's it called? Something Harbor, the MGM? The MGM? Anyway, went to play cash for 2 weeks in Washington, DC, and I was fortunate enough to make a bunch of money. I made just under 15k playing 2-5. Was there for 12 days. So it was very profitable. The games were very juicy. I love America, so lots of fun whenever you go there to grind. Sorry for the delay, guys. As you can see, we are, I think they are filling the table up, guys. Makes a lot of sense. So it looks as if they have decided that three-handed is too short-handed. I'm just waiting for some new players to come and fill the table. Where in America? Roseboom. It was in Washington, D.C., my friend. The games there were amazing for cash. It was really good. So anyway, I will be back there pretty soon. Go to Malta after this. Here we go, cards back in the air. I'm going to Malta after this to play Scoop, play all of the online series, and then I will play the Unibet Open, I believe, in Malta. One of our sponsors, Unibet, they have an awesome comp coming up. And then I will be off to Vegas, baby, for the World Series. So I'll be in Vegas for, I don't know, 4 to 6 weeks. See if I can take down the main event, guys. Time to make a run. So Jordan has the ace-king, picks it up from under the gun. As you can see, guys, they have changed the stakes now to 2-2. I think we'll still get a bunch of action. Lots of action players at the table. I can see now, guys, looking at the table, that it has indeed filled up. Here we go. There is one of our newer players, Mr. Jagup, sitting down with 515 euros. Muzza, how long does it take to sit Henry? Not long at all, my friend, but we are on around about a 15-minute delay to protect the integrity of the game. Obviously, if we were completely live, the players could watch the stream and cheat. So, anyway. Hey, Jeffrey and Roseboom, you watch yourself. There is absolutely... I have no problem banning you. You know what happened yesterday, Jeffrey. So, Jagup just picking it up with the under the gun raise. Henry will come up on your stream, guys, in probably 10 minutes time. Maybe a little less. So, guys, give me some of your stories from the past. I want to hear some of your stories from Vegas, from America, your best cash game stories, your best tournament stories. Give me it all. Give me it all. You wouldn't know how, not even if your life depended on it. Roseboom, it might be time. I'm giving you one final warning. Any more of your cheek, you're banned, kid. You're banned. Right. Anyway, how you doing, mate? Good. So back into the action. We have an open from Evert with the Jack-10 of hearts. Jagup electing to just defend his pocket eights, which is fine. Could elect to 3-bet. Sometimes he does just call. And we have a Queen Jack-7 with 1 heart flop. Now, Evert can either c-bet or check back here. Either is fine. Looks like he's going to bet. Jagup is normally just going to fold, just with a pair of 8s. Indeed does. Evert picks up the pot. Roseboom, play cash in Vegas. Sure. Why not? I would love to see you guys there, to be honest. Any chance you go in the summer out to Vegas would be pretty cool. Alan Felter Poker has followed. Cheers, buddy. We appreciate you. Anybody else who has not clicked the follow button yet, please do. Also check out our Cash Game Festival pages on Facebook and on Twitter for all of your Cash Game Festival needs and info. So Evert, Queen 9 of diamonds, beautiful little hand under the gun. Now Jagup, I'd like to see a 3-bet here. Definitely a hand that I want a 3-bet in the small blind. Round about 30 seems good to me. Perfect, it makes it 28. Evert electing to fold quickly from under the gun. Hey Tower, I visited Tallinn last year for 3 days. Lost 20 buy-ins and bricked 8 multis. Then I got drunk the last night and missed my plane home. That is low morale. Buratino, why a 2-2 game? We only had 4 people who wanted to play 5-10, which is disappointing, I know. I would have jumped in, but of course I'm on comms duties. There are lots of players who would play 5-10, but they are out at the VIP meal. So they may jump in actually in the next hour or so. More than possible that we can fill up the table and go back to 5-10. Anyway. So we have some new players sitting down at the table, guys. Jordan under the gun with the King Queen. See if he elects to play this hand. Probably 6-handed now. He does raise. Picks it up. No action from the other players. So guys, do we have anybody playing in the free rolls? Anyone making a run? Yesterday we had some legitimate sweats, guys, for people making the runs in the free roll. But thus far, not sounding like it's the case. Hey, Buratino, gonna be at the Hilton in 50 minutes. Gonna jump into 5-10 Omaha. Awesome, my friend. Come and say hello to me in the booth. That would be awesome. Rosebroom never joins anything, I know, right? Just trolls. Just chills all day, every day and trolls. Low morale. Gotta get involved. I don't know why we've got so many delays, guys. I do apologize. I'm not sure why. Stream is definitely running slower than normal. Okay, cards are back in the air. So Jordan was under the gun the last hand, I think. Round to Ed on the button. Jordan here to play, guys, for sure. Now another new player, we have Ranakas in the cutoff. Calling 10 euros. Evert in the small blind, completing with the 9-10 of clubs. We are going 3-handed to the flop. Buratino Cash Game Festival. Gonna bring you a shot. Oh my lord. Okay, here we go. 3-way to the flop. Wow. Action, guys. The case 10 has hit. One thing that will slow down the action a little here, nobody has a spade. Jordy's going to elect to bet. Now, Ranakis is not going to fold King 10 here. So it goes bet and call. They both have the same hand. Interested to see what happens if a fourth spade comes. Turn is a blank, the deuce of clubs. Now, will Jordy barrel for protection and value? Looks as if he is going to do so. Bet of 55. Now, Ranakis with top pair. I expect him to call. He does indeed. Now, the interesting thing will be if a spade pings on the river. River is a 5. I think this goes check-check, mostly. Jordy can check and bluff catch against one spade hands. I think this goes check-check. Be very surprised if it doesn't, and it does. They're going to split this pot and take 91 euros each. Mr. Ocho, how much do you think Henry will win? Hey, I don't know. Let's get some side bets, guys. I don't know. What do you reckon? Buratino vodka, or what do you want? Oh, man. You know what, guys? Let's open it to the chat. The next poll. Here you go, guys. You ready? Oh, let's see if I can work this keypad. There you go, guys. I'm not going to pick it, okay? We're going to leave it down to you. Don't say I don't entertain you. Up to you. PS Berserk, how many games are running at this stop? Well, it is Friday night, my friends, so the casino is beginning to fill up behind me. Oh man, look at these guesses. Look at this coming in. Oh wow. Oh, you know what? I'm going to rule out one, okay? One and one only. I don't like tequila. It properly gives me the fear. But anything else, okay? Anything else is on the table. So I'm allowed a veto of one. Anyway, Evert raises on the button to 6 with the ace-8 of hearts. Madis in the small blind, new player at the table. Welcome and good luck to him. Calls with the pocket 5s. Evert is going to c-bet. Bets 10 euros. Now, Madis does have a pair of 5s. There are 2 overcards. If we're going to call pre here, I kind of think we have to call the flop. Our opponent's going to c-bet with a lot of backdoor draws, just some overcards. We will see. Hey, enough of your cheat, guys. I will outdrink every last one of you if it really comes down to it. Now, Madis does call, which we expected. Now, this is a super interesting card. Evert picking up the nut flush draw. He's going to be wanting to barrel here a lot of the time. Madis picks up a gutter. I expect Evert to barrel here based on what I've seen from him so far. When he bets, you know, he can put a lot of pressure on hands like 7s, 8s, 9s, hand like 6, 7 suited, or a hand like 5s that we can see that Madis has. I like this bet, close to pot. Now, Madis having picked up the gut shot to go with his 5s, I mean, I would be getting sticky here a lot. Andy drinks like a girl. Give me peace, eh? I don't, you know, don't have to defend myself. Hey, any one of you, come along, come to the Cash Game Festival. Let's go. All right, Buratino, let's do it. I'm in. Once the stream is done, I can drink as much as I like. Let's go. So, that gets through from Evert, very nicely timed. Big fan of the sizing, betting close to pot, puts maximum pressure on Madis. Roseboom will bet against Andy. Well, what a surprise. Someone alert the media. Roseboom betting against me. He doesn't love me, guys. I don't know why. Anyway. What's this football talk, guys, that we're talking about? I'm loving this. I've missed this banter, guys. What are we discussing with the Dutch footballers? Metal Face in the house. Hey, buddy. All right. We are heads up, guys. Ranakas under the gun with the Queen 10. He opens, flops top pair, does go ahead and c-bet. Now, Jagup has the backdoor nut flush draw. I don't really think we can fold yet. Now, interesting. He goes for the check raise. I like it. I really like this. You can check raise here, you know, lots of turn cards that we can barrel off. The 8 of hearts, guys, is what we want here for the sweat. Turn is a blank, though. Now, it'll be interesting to see if Jagup wants to continue with this bluff or give up. He does check. Ranakas checks back, which I also like. He does have showdown. Board bricks out. Now, Jagup, I think this goes check-check, to be honest. Jagup can't really represent too many 9x. We don't really check raise any 9x, to be honest. We would check call, typically. And Ranakas is going to take this down with the pair of queens. Cash Game Festival, seek for a guy with Copley sweatshirt. Hey, Buratino, you will see me. When you come in the door, you will see me in the booth. Please feel free to come and say hello. Roseboom, English doesn't know anything about football. My goodness. I'm Scottish. Hello, Alan Felter. I have a question. How would you suggest somebody prepares for playing rebuy multi-tournaments when that person has never played rebuy tourneys? Sort of depends, Alan. Are we talking about online? Are we talking about live? That's kind of important for one thing. And what's your bankroll and what size of tournament will you be playing? Because, you know, it kind of relates to what your bankroll is, to be honest. All right, Roseboom, you're done. Hey, everybody, wave goodbye to Roseboom. Scotland sucks even more. See ya. See you, buddy. Gotta go. You had to go. Scotland, you cannot give my lovely Scotland that kind of abuse and expect to get away with it. Unacceptable. So, Jordan with 508 euros, Evert with 506. Alan, why does it depend on bankroll? Because you should always properly manage your poker bankroll. And obviously, if you're going to be playing rebuy tournaments, then you are probably going to be in for more money, which means you need to be more careful in relation to your bankroll. Makes sense, right? We are now modless. Hey, I will moderate it, Muzza. Oh no. Hey Tony, how'd I unban someone? I did, but it wouldn't do it. I had to ban him. He made love of my sweet Scotland. He made fun of, sorry, my sweet Scotland. Roseboom. I tried to unban. This is what happens when I try to work technology. Roseboom, 1981. Hey! Excellent. Alright, Roseboom, you're back. I guarantee he just gives me abuse here. Anyway, Ed 3-betting the Kings against the button raise of Renakis. Very standard. Renakis cannot continue with just 10 high. Yeah, I've done it, Archangel. I've done it. Hey, he made fun of my Scotland. That's, you know, xenophobia will not be tolerated. They are, Roseboom. I'm not going to lie, they really are. They really are. I love Roseboom, really. I just have to defend my country's honour. What can you say? So, cards back in the air. Where is Henry? Why is Henry not sitting there? Is Henry there, guys? Where's Henry? Where's Henry? Who knows? All right. Now, Renakis limping in the cutoff with the Jack-8 suited. Personally, I would prefer to just open. Ed on the button with the 4-5 of spades elects to go for the isolate. Quite like it, actually. Sensing weakness from Renakis. Madis flicking in the call with the deuces. He's going to go for a set mine. He probably thinks that Renakis is going to come along, which, you know, gives him better implied odds against two players if he can hit a set. 3-way to the flop. And the flop is 8-9 queen. Renakis coming up gold with bottom pair and the gut shot. Now, this isn't a great flop for Ed to continue. I think that Renakis will check as a default in this spot. There you go. Now, Ed should check here. Not a great spot for him to barrel off. Turns a 6. Does pick up a little bit of equity. A 7 would now give Ed the low end of the straight. Renakis may elect to bet a little bit here to protect his hand. He will probably be confident he has the best hand. Bets 11 euros. This is going to go fold-fold, I am pretty sure. Which it does. So, nice little pot picked up by Renakis. Andy, have you ever tossed the caper? I mean, unless that's a euphemism, the answer is no. Henry got lost in the bar with his free drinks. You know what? He might have. You reckon he just left me here just to go and drink? Wouldn't be surprised, guys, not gonna lie. So, you can see the went to showdown stats there, guys. They're gonna be a little bit skewed. Renakis and Jagup having just joined the table. You know, so their went to showdown percentage is naturally gonna be higher. Is Evert Dutch? You know what? I actually don't know. Unfortunately, I have not been provided with the bios today for this table. I think because of all the changes, guys. So we will just have to guess. We will have to play the guess the nationality game, I suppose. So Mattis in the small blind elects to 4x with his 4s. Jordan, nothing to defend, decides to just fold. Hey, Bulgarian Manny says he is finished. There you go, guys. Bulgarian Manny, are you a friend of his? Give us some background if you have any to provide. Alan Felter Poker. I mean, I'm definitely going to get trolled here. You just know it's coming. Jeffrey and Roseboom are licking their lips. Cash Game Festival, do you consider yourself a tournament poker champion? Depends on your definition of the word champion. But, I mean, I've been playing tournament poker for 10 years, pretty much solidly. So, with some good results, so yeah, I guess so. I guess it sort of depends. Jagup is a strong spin and go player and coach, local. Hey Tomasil, do you know what his online screen name is? Would he be disappointed if you revealed it? I would like to know if I've battled with him. I play a lot of $100 spin and goes, like thousands basically. You'd be interested to know. So anyway, here we go. Raise to 6 on the button from Mattis with the King 9. Small blind and the big blind completing. Nobody makes a pair. Mattis does have the best hand with King 9 and the backdoor nut flush draw. We can see that if he c-bets here, he's likely just going to pick up the pot. Looks like he's going to. And typically this is just going to go fold-fold. Which it does, and Mattis picks up the pot. Roseboom, are you talking to me? What's your general profit during 1 week of poker in the US? Are we talking cash games? I mean, I don't typically play that much live cash. I did win chunks when I went to DC. Normally when I'm in Vegas or anything like that, I'm just grinding all the tournaments. At the Venetian, at the Rio, at the Win, all that kind of stuff. But I mean, yeah, I would have a pretty strong ROI for cash overall. Just don't play it that consistently, to be honest. Hey, there's Henry, guys. There he is. Give him your love. Give him your support. Now, he's out of position on Ed and Evert. Not the greatest spot to be on this table, to be perfectly honest. Anyway, off we go. Ed under the gun 1, making it 15, which is quite a large sizing. There might be a straddle, guys. Not sure. Anyway, Jordan calling with the Jack-10 of hearts. A beautiful little hand. Renakis also completes with Ace-4 of clubs. So we're going 3-way to the flop. Here we go. 51 euros in the pot pre-flop. There is a Jack. So Jordan jumps out in front with top pair, with backdoor straight and flush draws. Now Ed probably gonna check. He does. Jordan should bet for value here for sure. Typically here, Ed's going to check call, in my opinion. Renakis, unless he wants to get really out of line, he's just going to fold. Ed is going to expect Jordan to bet with quite a lot of hands. He should check call, and he does. If the board pairs jacks here, could be interesting. And there we go. Jordy makes top 2. Now Ed's going to check. Jordy should be barreling here for value, 100%. Should barrel pretty big also. He could feasibly have stabbed flop with hands like King-Queen. Hands like Queen 9 with backdoors. He's definitely going to barrel. I would be. Should bet around about 80, I think. There you go, 75. And Ed does decide to let it go. 10, another overcard against his 8s. Jordy going to pick up the pot, which he does. Yeah, Roseboom, that's probably about right. Cash Game Festival, what's the biggest field you've faced and managed to get first place? Back in the day, way back in the day, I actually chopped the big 11 on stars. on a Sunday, and I got like 20k. So it was a big, maybe 18,000 runners or something. I can't remember the specifics if I'm being completely honest though, so don't quote me on it, but yeah. You know, typically you get a lot of these big fields with X thousand players. Part of the tournament poker life, my friend. So guys, close to full ring now. We have another new player, Tannell. Haven't seen him on camera yet, but he folds. Madis in the hijack with the ace-9 off. Now, ace-9 offsuit, you do have strong players behind. I actually like folding this particular hand combo. Ace-9 suited, you could certainly open. Roseboom, I'm just not going to answer you anymore, buddy. I raised to 16. Wow. Okay. An 8x open. Everyone's going to fold. There is a straddle, guys, in play now. So, looks like the guys are basically playing 2-2-5, if everybody is straddling. So you're going to see some bigger opening sizes when the straddle is in play. Roseboom, I'm only messing. No tax on poker in the UK. Wonderful. Long may it continue. Hey, Sitak2 Empire has followed. Thank you very much, my friend. Anybody else who has not hit the follow button, please do. Share us on your social media. Tell your friends. Tell your milkman. Tell your granny. Get everybody involved here at CGF. Thank you guys for the love. You know we appreciate all of you. So jag up in the cutoff with king 9 off. He is going to open, makes it 16, so we do have another straddle. Looks like the guys are putting a mandatory straddle on. Tannell under the gun with the queen 6 off. Does indeed elect to just let it go. Roseboom, we have council tax. I don't know if that's the same thing. You know, that you pay to maintain your city and stuff like that. I don't know, we will see now. I'm going to guess 200. I'm going to guess 200. I think Henry might be a little bit intimidated by the lineup. I don't expect him to sit with a full stack. I'm going to guess 200. I mean, I can only see one black chip there, so it looks like 200 to me. And it's this is a strong lineup, to be fair, for a 2-2 game. Hey, Mrs. Nick Diaz has followed. Awesome. Is that the Mrs. Nick Diaz? If it is, big love. So Jordan folding the 9-7 under the gun 2. Round to Henry on the button with the king 6 off. He lets it go. Ed in the small checks. No straddle this hand. Interesting, Evert has shown that he likes the action. I thought he would straddle. Anyway. So Ed's going for the old limp stab. I mean, he doesn't feasibly rep many ace-x. Good call from Tannell here with the queen high. We can see he has the best hand. Ed turns the best of it. He should barrel here. You can get value from every 7, every flush draw, every deuce. Pretty standard stuff, guys. Easy turn bet for Ed. I mean, the big blind can have some raggy aces that check back, but we can just bet for value, and he does. Takes it down. Just folded queen 8. Queen high, very standard. Quasi Robbie, king 6 off. No, no, no. He had the queen 8, my friend. Anyway, off we go, and now you can see the chip counts in front of you. Jordan with 570 euros in front of him. So he's up 70 euros since we changed the game to 2-2. Madis under the gun, ace-5 off. Mandatory fold in a full ring game. Ed on the button will certainly open with 3s. makes it €8 to play. Not a lot of action so far, guys. Sadly. Roseboom, no, I don't. There are no taxes. Ah, right, okay, Quasi Rabbi, sorry. I got you, yeah. Henry did fold King 6 on the button. Like a massive net. Like a huge net. I want to see some hand clashes, guys. There's been not a lot of action so far, I must say. Anyway, so guys, to let you know, we are on a short delay. We are live from the Olympic Casino in Tallinn on a short delay to your streams on the Twitch, just to protect the integrity of the game. We are here at the Cash Game Festival stop until the 29th of April. So 2 more full days of action before the festival concludes. And yeah, tomorrow, guys, for all of you guys that enjoy the free rolls, and I know that there are a lot of you that like to play them, we have a €5,000 free roll tomorrow being put on by our partners, 32 Red Poker. So thank you very much to them. I will be releasing the password to you guys tomorrow, and also Unibet putting on another 2,000 worth, 7K worth of free rolls tomorrow, guys. Okay, so Yagap under the gun 1, raising with ace-5 of clubs. Ranakis calling with deuce 4 suited. Do not like this call in the slightest. Far, far, far too wide a hand selection. I mean, this is fishy. Sorry, Ranakis. So Henry does 3-bet in the hijack. I like his sizing. He's gone for around about 5x. Now Ranakis just has 4 high. So the action goes check, check on the flop and on the turn. Now, Ranakis, if we're going to call a squeeze, we should bluff this river, right? Like Henry just insta-checks back, flop and turn. Shouldn't have it really many 9x in his range, if any. I would have liked to see Ranakis bluff river if we're going to call this squeeze. Not a good hand selection for Ranakis, in my opinion. Should just be folding to the open, especially to that squeeze. Bruce Bruja, is Henry a dog or a favourite in this game? You know, I don't want to say that he's a dog, but for a 2-2 game, the lineup's pretty strong. Like, Jordan's good, Everett's good, Ed is very good reg. I don't know much about the rest of the players. I certainly wouldn't say that Henry's a favourite in the game, but I also wouldn't say that he's a dog. There you go. Roseboom pays a lot of taxes. Hey, if you play poker full time, for sure I could not handle it if there was tons and tons of taxes. The game is too hard nowadays if you're going to be paying lots of your money off in taxes. Frankly, I find it offensive that poker is taxed in any case. So anyway, so Tannel with a big hand, ace queen of spades in the cutoff, easy open here. Probably going to make it around about €8 if there's no straddle. Okay, it looks like there is a straddle. Mid 18. And no action so far, guys, right? Nah, Roseboom, I know it's an income, but I don't agree with it. Nah, I disagree. Cheers. Personally, I disagree. I find it wrong, to be honest, that, you know, a poker player in America can win 300k and be taxed X amount of money. Okay, well then what happens when you lose 200k? There are no tax rebates. You know what I mean? I don't agree with it. I don't agree with it. If you're going to define it as gambling or whatever you want to call it, you know, you're relying on just your own mind to make your money. Personally, I just don't agree with it. Exactly. Like, what is that all about? How can you min cash and lose money? Like, it's absurd. And, you know, how can you win 5 million and they want to take 35% of it, but then you can lose 500k in a year and you just lose it? I disagree with it. That is true, Buratino. But in some places they have your, what do you call it, your local state tax. We still have to pay that. Anyway. Alright, we got a raise to 7 from Henry, under the gun +1 with the 5-6 of diamonds. So, young Mr. Henry Kilbane opening up his opening range. picks up 3 calls. See what happens on the flop. The flop is ace, 7, king, heart, heart, heart. Incredibly, guys, none of our 4 players have a heart. Now, Henry should give up here. We cannot c-bet this board.
May I for a few minutes to check
Yes,
the game with you?
come on.
Hello,
Hey,
everyone.
guys, the French hunter himself, Maxime.
Hello, hi.
Thank you
How
for
are
joining,
everyone?
buddy.
Good.
We're good, we're good.
So how is the game going?
There hasn't been too much action so far, but I expect it to pick up as everyone's feeling out. Now, Henry's showing a lot of heart here. He's gone for the delayed c-bet. This could work. Although Jagup does have an ace.
So Henry is betting between like into 4 players.
Into 3 players, yeah.
It's a bit.
It's
optimistic.
ambitious.
Ambitious.
Absolutely.
He has a 5 though.
I mean, basically here, Henry raised pre,
Okay.
and the other players called.
So
Everybody checked the flop. Now Henry's just
What
taking a
does,
stab.
What does he represent when he bets 16? Yeah.
You know, you can have a hand here, Henry, like something like ace 10 of spades or something, that, you know, you don't want to bet the flop into 3 players because you don't have a heart.
But why not check back on the river? Are you gonna check now?
I mean, if we're going to play our hand like this, I'm bluffing the river.
Yeah.
You know, we can represent some slow played flushes. It's not impossible. We could have raised with queen 10 of hearts. He's gone for it. I love
wow,
this. I
that's
love
good.
this. Look at the bravery, Mr. Henry Kilbane.
That's a good bet. That's
Hey,
a good
guys,
bet.
guys, we said.
Look, and then he takes a shot like. Okay.
Oh, look at
Cheers,
this one of us.
The bluff
Hey.
had gone through.
Nice hand.
Maxine wanted me to.
Oh, here we go.
Ah, yeah, okay. Because
It's classic Jeffrey here on the troll,
but
as always.
he's upset because we were discussing an end during
Yeah.
the Cash Game Festival Bratislava that he played. So he was 22 big blind deep.
Yeah, in the small blind.
In the small blind, there's a button open, and he had the Queen Jacks suited.
Yeah, I
And
remember. And the
he decided
button
to
raised.
shove. Button raised, and he decided to shove the
Yeah.
small blind. And I told him, okay, man, you have 22 big blind. Maybe you can wait for a better spot because the tournament is quite the blind level are quite long.
Okay.
So maybe you can wait for a better spot. You can choose a better spot.
Okay.
And he was telling me, of course, and I agree with him that mathematically wise, it's a good shove because there's
Yeah.
a lot of equity, and even if he gets called, he has a lot of equity. I understand completely, but I am more. I should not give advice because I'm not good, but I am more someone that will maybe, with 22 big blind, wait a bit more
Sure.
for something maybe more, I would say maybe more safe, or maybe get called with like a really more weaker hand, you know.
Sure. So basically, what you're saying is, when you're getting it all in a good structured tournament,
Yeah.
you would prefer to wait for a stronger range
Yeah,
that
because you
plays
can
well. as
easily
an
get called anyway when you have 22 big blind in a live tournament.
Listen, I'm not going to say that that is a bad strategy. I don't think that it's a bad strategy.
Yeah.
I'm from the school of this spot with Queen Jack suited, it kind of depends on who is on the button.
Okay.
So if the button...
If you know you might get called.
I'm sure, like, listen, right, if the button is very nitty, like never opens pots, they usually could have a strong range, then we can kind of comfortably just fold and wait for a better spot.
Okay.
If it's a reg who's going to open 80% of buttons, then I'm all in for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. There's the dead money in the pot.
Yeah.
You know, it's all well and good waiting for spots, but people get... Here we go, right, sorry, we'll get back to that.
Hurry.
All right. Jordan opening in the cutoff with ace jack. Henry 3-bets to €50 in the big blind. We have a straddle on, so it's making more action.
From the big blind.
Little good
raise.
fold from Jordan, yeah,
Oh
good
my
fold.
God,
Good
he's-
fold.
He's in position. He don't even call here.
Nah, ace jack off. You know, Henry.
He smells the danger.
Yeah,
You know.
he did. He noticed.
So why not flating maybe flatting here with aces?
Henry could flat there.
Is that
it's,
okay?
it's definitely possible. Ed is in the straddle in that spot. So the problem when you flat is Ed is going to flat a lot behind. Then all of a sudden you're playing aces out of position against two very good players,
It's not very nice.
which isn't nice.
They can
But
outplay you. This is what we
sure. I mean, you know, you can call there and have two players out of position, and what are you going to? The board comes 7, 8, 9,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh.
Yeah.
But
And then you pay one bet on the flop, and on the turn you put a huge bet, and you don't know what to do.
yeah, basically.
Would you really fold ace jack here?
Uh,
Andrew?
this is one of these spots, right, where ace-jack offsuit, even though you're in position, doesn't typically play very well against the 3-bet. So ace-jack suited, for example, we call always, almost always. In position, 200 big blinds deep, we can always call, for sure.
And if he had something like 8-9 suited, is it cool to call?
This is much
it's
better.
Different.
It's a much better hand to call.
The real reason that's why is because ace-jack is a hand that is easily dominated by better aces.
There we go.
Okay.
Like Henry, Henry's value range, okay? If we assign a value range to Henry when he 3-bets from the big blind, like jacks, queens, kings, aces, ace-king, ace-queen, all these hands, they crush ace-jack.
Okay.
But for sure, if I have 9-10 suited there and I get 3-bet by a tight player, I'm fist pump calling because I'm in position, I can outplay them post, and if I flop a big hand, then I can get the whole stack.
And you have like equity regarding the flop,
Sure.
and you can bluff.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So for example, 9-10 suited and Jack-10 suited, they are the hands that are best placed to crack aces, for example.
Yes.
Like they literally play the best. So
Really?
these are the, yeah.
And what about pocket pair? Yeah, if you just
Nah, they don't play well because we're 80-20. Like we're a 4-1 underdog. So we need to make a set.
it's better to have suited connector.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Against aces anyway.
Okay.
So, but like that ace-jack off spot, if we're deep enough, we can 4-bet fold against the 3-bet. Because we block aces, we block jacks. But Henry's quite tight. Jordan knows that Henry's quite a tight player. Oh, even though we saw Henry execute a lovely bluff with the 5-6.
I have a question about cash game, and especially live cash game.
Sure.
Do we?
Wait, hang on. Let's
Okay.
just do this hand first, and then we'll get into it. So,
Okay.
Henry opened on the button with ace queen. Oh, sorry. Everett opened under the gun with ace queen of clubs.
And you call on the button.
Yeah, it's good. Now we have to call. We have to call here with ace queen.
Okay.
Folding here would be a mistake. Everett is a very accomplished player. Good. I like this from Henry so far. Henry has the queen of spades, which
It's
is
fair
important.
enough. It's fair enough to call.
We have to call one.
Yeah.
We're in position. We have a very good ace. We have an underrepresented hand. Now the question is, does Everett elect to barrel off? It doesn't. I would like to see a check back from Henry here. We have showdown value.
Yes.
Good.
That's good.
Now what's going to happen here is Everett will bet for value always.
And Henry gonna call.
He's going to call.
All right. No.
He could raise sometimes. It depends on the sizing. I don't expect him to raise. I think he just calls. Yeah.
Exactly.
And they're going to chop the
And
call.
they have the same hand. Yeah.
Very standard.
Okay. Yeah, I wanted to ask, in a cash game,
Sure.
live especially, do you really, to be a winner, to be a winner in cash game live on the long term, is it only, so of course you can play very mathematically, and but can you play as well in a kind of like a live experience and read is it possible to play in a kind of like an unconventional way, but
So-
still win?
So what you're getting at there, and what we call it in the, in the poker speak, so
Yeah.
to speak, there are lots of poker players who play an exploit-based game, which is
Yes.
what you're saying. So you might sit in a game and look and say, okay, he's terrible.
Okay.
Like, sorry to the terrible players out there if there are any, but you might think I can exploit this player, and even though you're making a play that is not theoretically correct,
Okay.
you think it's going to work against this player.
Okay.
So
you adapt yourself.
absolutely. You may literally think, I can just shove this river, and even though it makes no sense,
Okay.
I know that this player can't call.
Okay.
Okay. Whereas if you play at a table with strong regs
Yeah.
and you try that, you're going to get punished. But that is what live poker and what all poker is about, is adapting to who you're playing.
And there is another way of playing as well, which is more mathematical, more.
Absolutely. There are players who play pure math no matter what, and that is fine. There's nothing
Okay.
wrong with it. I mean, if like maths in poker, it doesn't lie.
Yeah.
If you have no leaks in your game and you follow the math
Yeah.
to a T, you will make money.
Yeah.
You will make money for sure. But in my opinion, if you're too inflexible
Yeah.
and you don't adjust to a table, if you don't adjust to the fact that a guy is playing 7 out of every 10 hands,
Yeah.
then that's a mistake.
You have to
in my opinion.
to add in your game this adjustment. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
The guys in the chat are loving life. It's good fun, actually. So, Henry, nice start from Henry. He's definitely in profit at this table.
Yes, some euro plus, and you can see 30% average.
Yeah, I mean, I think at the moment we don't pay attention to this because
Yeah.
a lot of the players have literally played 10 hands.
Yes.
So, there's no real point in looking at the statistics.
So I talked to this guy on seat 1 that just opens the
Yep.
jack for Jacob.
Jacob, yep.
He's an Estonian player and he's a very good spin and go player, according to his word.
Cool.
He told me that he's very good. Yeah. Maybe he has some reputation, I don't know, but yeah.
Yeah, the guys in the chat were actually saying the same.
They know him.
Yeah, they said that he's a poker coach here in Estonia,
yeah.
I believe. For sitting goes.
Yes.
Thank you for the follows, Zazix12 and Palmy Burn. Thank you very much, guys. We appreciate you. So Tano goes for the raise steal with the deuce 5 off. Not something I would always recommend, but hey, gets it through. And that's an example right there, right? Like pure math or whatever, you would never open this hand.
No, never.
Never, ever, ever.
Just for bluff.
Sure. I mean, sometimes people will just open.
To re-raise.
I mean, I will sit at a table sometimes and specifically on purpose do some stupid stuff, you know, and show it and like make it look like you're bad.
Fun.
You want action.
Yeah.
You want people to assume that you're going to make lots of mistakes.
You can use that as well.
Sure.
To build an image. Or
Absolutely. Yeah, for the image purposes, definitely. Good night, Dark Angel, and thank you for joining us as always. You know we appreciate you.
Do you think some guys sometimes they play like very badly on purpose? Like they show like very bad and they raise.
Sure, but only for a short time, because otherwise you start losing like lots of money.
Yeah.
So Ranikas, we have seen, has played a few hands like this that are too marginal in early position. Yeah, like early position, a hand like 6-7. No, I would either raise or I would fold this hand. So anyway, he is in position.
Why is bad to limp?
Because at a table of strong regs, a hand like 7-6 of hearts, although it looks pretty, it doesn't play as well as you think it does long term. Now a hand like 9-10 or 10-jack suited, they play. Now typically here, Maddis can just c-bet and just win this pot so often. Okay. But he's going to like to check. Now Ranikas will check back, I feel. Like this is the problem now with 6-7 of hearts. Can we really bluff here on this board? Maddis has every ace king, ace queen.
The first will win.
Sure. I mean, there you go. Just bets, and then it just long term is a losing play to limp here with the 6-7 suited. I mean, by all means, it's okay to mix your play up with a few limp-ins and stuff like that. I wouldn't fold. Like I wouldn't fold 6-7 suited. I would probably just raise.
Yeah.
And then you're
also aggressive.
It's good to be the aggressor in poker.
You build the pot.
Absolutely. So Maxime, can you fill us in on any of the? Did you go to any of the activities this week so far?
No, because I was busy.
You're doing the work, yeah. Me too.
So yeah, I'm taking care. For those who don't know me, I'm taking care of the registration on the TV table. So yeah, I'm pretty busy at the casino doing that.
Yeah.
And.
Yeah, me too. I don't get to go to any of them either.
Yes. But we are warm in the casino.
That
we
is
are
true.
good, yeah. But like the guys are at the dinner at the moment, all the players are enjoying dinner in town, and they will come back after and play some poker.
Absolutely. So, Tanel opening with the King 8 off. See, personally, I don't like this open.
It's very loose.
Yeah, we have good players behind us, and now he's going to get into some trouble.
Yes.
But typically here, this is going to go check, bet, call. So I expect him to bet around about 10 euros. Jagup is not going to fold with 10-7. He goes bet 7 euros. It's going to go check, call. Very standard. Now it depends on the turn texture for what's going to happen next.
And he may fall on an ace. Maybe.
We will see. Okay, interesting turn. Now Jagup picks up an open-ended straight draw. I think this goes check now. Tanel will be worried about this card. You know, Jagup has all of the Queen Jack. Hands like this. Now the river's an ace. I think this will go check.
If Tanel bet, can you make him fold? Maybe
he
the
could.
point too small. Or...
He could.
Ah, interesting.
This is what we call a blocker bet from Jagup. I'm not sure I like it, to be perfectly honest. He's basically betting this size in to stop his opponent from raising.
Okay.
I mean, he bets 8.
Blocking bet.
Yes, this is a blocker bet. Tanel for sure could have gone after that. You know, Jagup bets 8 euros into 28 euros. He bets less than 1/3 of the pot. Now, with your really strong hands in the big blind, like Jack Queen, 7-8, Jack 7, excuse me, for a straight, a hand like a set of 4s, maybe 10-9, you're going to bet bigger.
Yeah.
It just makes sense. Like with Queen Jack on that river, you don't bet a third of the pot.
Yeah.
So it's almost always a blocker bet,
But
unless you have history with your
Is it a
opponent.
nice play to do a blocker bet?
Maybe, but I don't like it
Because
in
I heard
that,
that
in
when
that
you
situation.
make a bet, you have to bet for value or for a bluff.
Sure. I mean, sometimes you can make a blocker bet. In that specific situation, we don't block Queen Jack.
Does he have some value here? Maybe a bit.
Personally, I wouldn't make that bet. With the ace on the river, you're giving your opponent the opportunity to just raise huge and just put you in a bad spot. But anyway, Jeffrey says, "Does anyone have a link for the English Cash Game Festival stream? I'm stuck in the French
one. Okay. And we have our friend Rose Boom. That is
Yeah,
here as well.
always
Rose
trolling,
Boom.
always trolling.
Is it French or Italian? Same
Yeah,
thing,
he
right?
says the one on the left speaks a kind of English, but
It's
kind
a
of weird.
Dutch trolling.
Always trolling
They
these
speak
two.
in Dutch now. They insult me in Dutch. Nice.
I know, right?
Oh my god.
I'm gonna ban them both again.
Do it again, please.
I already banned Rosebeam once,
Really? Oh.
but you know we love Rosebeam too much
course,
to
of
leave
course.
it for too long.
Of course.
So guys, anybody just tuning in, this is a 2-2 no limit hold'em game, but there's a lot of straddling going on, so it's
And
playing.
there's a lot of good players as well.
Sure, it's playing more like a 2-5 game than a 2-2.
Yes.
So as you can see, Jordan with 538 euros, right down to, I missed who it was, but 195 euros. Anyway, on we go. Tannel under the gun 1 with the 10-6. Should be a fold.
Oh,
We go, a real
Maddies.
hand from
Ladies.
Has the ladies.
7, raise 8.
Yes. Okay.
So he should be opening here. He makes 8 euros to go. Now, Ranicus has showed that he likes to play a lot of
Yeah.
hands.
He will Henri will call as well.
Sure, they will both call here.
A good odd.
Now, if this comes queen,
Henri can fold as well actually.
he should call here always for
Really?
sure. For the price, yeah.
Because it's 300.
6 euros to win 24. You're getting 4-1 on your money. You have a good suited queen. You know, there are a lot of cool flops that we can do some interesting stuff.
You may eat something.
I would call. Absolutely. And here we go.
Oh, nice.
So, both of the players in
Oh
the blinds
my
have a
God.
flush draw. This should go check all the way around, which it does. If a diamond comes, Renakis is in real trouble. Now, Renakis makes a pair on the turn.
Oh, interesting.
Now, I don't really like the lead. You basically never get a better hand to fold with this bet.
Yeah.
You know, a king is never going to fold. Henry will call behind here, I'm sure.
Can Henri raise here?
He could. Henry being in the big blind could represent all of the sevens. So, you know, like Henry in the big blind has all the 7-8 off, 6-7 suited, 7-9 suited, and all this. Oh no, we have a freeze.
Have a freeze.
Jordan looks tired. Guys, are you frozen? Is the stream frozen? Oh no!
I think that we lost connection for now.
Tony, we have lost connection. Hopefully we don't need to reset. Tony Hitrov, if you can hear me, my friend, let me know what you want me to do.
That one is coming.
He's coming now.
Okay.
So I'll just talk for. Can we take a short break? So back in 10 minutes. Okay, guys, we need to reset the stream. So please join us back in 10 minutes and join me and hopefully Maxime as well in the booth. See you in 10 minutes time.
mentality was really good. Playing football was really fun, especially I had a good team with me, good bunch of people, and it was entertaining. I'm not sure if we won, but it was really good.
upbeat.
Solar days, 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 days. Solar days, 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 days. Solar days, 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 days. Solar days, days, days.
Barely awake, motionless, we all hibernate, down deep like Wesley, sunken in sleep, with slow beating hearts, we are drowning in dreams, ready to suffer. We are losing our ways, wasting away. We are soft and afraid. Stop turning your pillows, crawl and play. Taste and shout, call your brothers, find your ways again.
atmosphere here at the Cash Game Festival in Tallinn has been surprisingly good, and I think it has been a great experience for the players.
Just such a good mix of the fun games of poker and then the socialising aspect as well. Have players from all over the world who you can sort of drink and play poker with and just have a laugh with.
And guys, hello, we are back. Apologies for the technical difficulties. The stream is back. It is reset.
And with Ace King.
Yeah, look at that, loving life. So we are reset, guys. Now see, Ranicus, okay, so we were talking about hand selections in different spots.
This is not good.
This is just not good. He's been playing too many hands, and you know, weak hands like this, like ace-7 off, it just plays so badly post-flop. Like if this comes ace-high here.
It's dominated, it's weak, he's in position, but still not enough.
It's going to get you in trouble a lot. Now here we go, exactly what we just said. Now what's he going to do?
He's dominated.
He's in trouble now.
I'm not even sure about 10L call as well.
That's okay, we are getting the price in the big blind.
Yeah, but
it's thin, it's thin. I mean, 3-4 suited, for example, plays much better. But now, see, like, Ranicus is in real trouble now. Yeah. Like, unless he can find a 7.
Spot when you have a dominated hand.
Unless he can find a 7, or maybe a 4 or a 5 could slow the action down a heart.
11% we see.
And we can see Jagup has the ace of hearts, so he's not concerned about. So it means his opponent, of course, cannot have the nut flush.
Yeah.
Now that is the most action card possible. So Jagup should be thinking now in his mind.
Maybe checking.
I think the fact that he has the ace of hearts means that we want to bet, because all of our opponents ace 8 through ace queen, we beat all of them.
So he has some value.
For sure. I mean, having the ace of hearts is massive here, because it means, of course, Ranicus cannot have any nut flushes, because we have it. I think he bets, and there's no way Ranicus folds the turn. Like he will at least call. The question is whether he wants to raise. I would just call. You know, we can go for value on the river.
And if you raise, you can be called by a better hand as well.
Yeah, I mean, basically when we raise, let's just say that Jagup has a hand like ace queen of spades. When we raise, we can scare this hand away.
So there is no much value. Oh la la!
And now Jagup has the nuts. Well, the second
festival.
nuts. He has the second nuts. He only can lose the 4 or 5 of hearts.
Should he shove?
No, I mean, I wouldn't shove because there's 133 euros in the pot.
There is 4
and there's 245 euros effective. He is going to shove though. This is the one. He isn't going to call this shove. He is going to fold. Basically here, Ranicus is just bluff catching.
Yeah.
So you have to think, what hands does Jagup bet, shove that are a bluff? Like, are there any? Like, he needs to have something like 8-9 of diamonds that bet the flop, decided to bluff turn, and now the heart comes and they think, I'm going for it.
I don't see him doing
it. He will fold, he will fold. Yeah. But this is, I don't like shoving here, actually. I'm not a big fan.
Maybe half of the pot, 3/4.
Sure. You can even check and let your opponent value bet with the jack of hearts in their hand.
But with a7, he will check back anyway.
He would for sure.
Yeah. So you don't want to miss any value, so I think it's...
I think that we should bet, but I think shoving is too much. I don't think no disrespect to these players, I'm not sure that they are going to bluff shove this spot.
Yeah.
if you have history with the player and they know that you can bluff a lot, then shoving becomes much better, I think.
Yeah.
But anyway, that is just an example of why calling pre-flop with ace-7
Puts you in a dangerous spot.
It really does. So, anyway, back into the action. Maddis under the gun with the ace-2 of hearts.
Fold.
Well, these suited wheel aces actually play really well. So
Right under the gun.
it's still okay to raise it.
Really?
Yeah, it's okay. Like, the suited wheel combinations.
It's not what's written in the book.
Ah,
No, in the old book.
the old book,
No,
exactly.
but seriously, like,
Folding is fine, for
if
sure.
you have ace-2 suited under the gun in a cash game, why would you raise under the gun?
Because
With
we're,
like 7 players behind.
because we're drawing to the nuts. We have...
But does that matter in the old game still to draw to the nuts, even if you're out of
It
position?
still matters. I mean, listen, folding is absolutely fine.
Yeah.
It's absolutely fine. But it's not a bad hand to open with if we're going to open.
Okay.
If we're going to open early position, you don't want, if you only open premium hands under the gun, it means that when your players watch and play with you, every time you open under the gun, it means they can just fold.
But what's better than 8-9 suited under the gun or ace-2 suited under the gun?
I mean, I don't want to say that either is like better per se, but it really depends.
It depends how good you are post-flop.
Depends on the players are, yeah. Depends how good you are. If you're not confident in your post-flop ability, then you should fold for sure. Absolutely.
And I heard that it's the suited aces are good hand to play when you are very deep stack.
Say again, sorry?
I heard that the suited aces are very good hand to play when you are very deep stack.
Absolutely. If you're playing like 200 big blinds deep, that's when it can become more attractive to play these hands because we're drawing to the nut flush. We can make a disguised wheel, like it comes 3, 4, 5, and you've raised under the gun. They don't think that you can have ace-2, you know what I mean? Stuff like this, in any case. So we are back up and running, guys. This is our final stream of the evening, coming to you guys on a short delay from the Olympic Casino in Tallinn. We did have a 5-10 game running earlier, but unfortunately we did not have enough players. Now again, Renakis is making a lot of mistakes here pre-flop. Limping in under the gun 2 with Jack-6 of spades is just an easy fold. Very, very easy. Now here we go, action. So Ed has isolated with the jacks, very standard.
That's cool.
Maddis will almost certainly re-raise and go with his
Daniel
hand
is
here.
in position, you want action with a kind of a wiki end, I would say.
I mean, Tanel's call, I really hate it as well. Not a fan. 3-6 suited, it doesn't play well. Maddis will squeeze here. Almost always.
What about calling?
You could, but I do not recommend calling here. Like, look at the dead money in the pot. He knows that Renakis is playing too many hands. He knows that Ed is a good reg who can take advantage of that and raise with he doesn't have to have a premium holding. Tanel just calling on the button. Like, if we think logically, I think he'll shove here, and he does. And I like it. It's definitely a good shove.
Is it not too big regarding the money?
Not really. I mean, his choice is to shove or make it maybe 70, 80. And then you might get some fishy calls from Renakis and Tanel that can outdraw your ace-king. Ed will probably call.
Yeah.
Ed
is deep. Ed is deep.
Ed's going to know that he has a lot of ace-king in his range when he shoves. So we are going to be flipping, guys.
So should
342
should we
euros.
Call for,
Who do you think's going to win?
I think I might have information regarding what I see.
No!
So I'm not going to say anything, but I
mean,
I have my idea.
Ace-king must be the favourite because we saw Jack folded. But looks like Jack's is holding.
King.
No, and Ed wins a 342 euro pot.
Sometime Jacks can win.
For sure. But this spot, you know, anybody paying attention at that table is very important. Renakis is playing way too many hands. We saw him play ace-7. We've seen him play deuce-4 of hearts and call a squeeze.
You want to see flop, I think.
Precisely. So when he limps, Ed in position can for sure isolate him with a way worse hand than Jacks.
Yeah.
Ed can raise there with ace-10.
So no regret for Maddis.
Well, knowing this information and then Tanel just calling the button.
Because with you are Maddis, you are actually happy to flip because you have the dead money.
I mean, when he shoves, a lot of the time he just wins 60 euros. Everyone folds.
That's
wins
lovely.
60.
That's
and that's
lovely.
perfect. We love that.
We
and
love
if
it.
we get called, okay, we're flipping, but it's an easy shove for Maddis in this spot. So anyway, on we go. Nice pot for Ed. He is up to 1,000 euros. So see again, Renakis, don't play this hand. Yeah. At least he raised.
You want action.
At least he raised. At least he raised. I like it better than
you
flatting.
represent a strong hand, yeah, basically.
I mean, personally, it's just an easy fold. I would never play a hand like Ace-8 off.
Daniel is an easy call.
Yeah, Tanner will call, I would expect.
And our dear friend Henry, how is he doing?
Yeah, I mean he's winning. He's winning since he sat down.
He's drinking orange juice, some vitamin. Jakub is calling with.
He's in the straddle. He's in the straddle, so it's okay. Again, Renakis playing too many marginal hands.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's see. Now the action would be Ace King 5 would be the dream flop for us.
Why
in the
not?
Booth.
Why not?
In the booth.
And maybe
some diamonds. Or
2 diamonds.
Like this. So everybody misses, which is interesting. So Tano has the best hand.
Maybe a little
you can
C-bet.
never know. Yeah, I mean, now this is the problem though when you raise Ace-8 off. How can we c-bet into this board against 2 calls?
To represent the bluff?
I know, but the ranges of our opponents, they have so many. King, Queen, Queen, Jack, Queen 10. Now he's forced to check. This is why we don't play the Ace-8 off in the first place.
He's dominated.
Sure. I mean, it's just very difficult to play post. Now this might check through again. Jagup doesn't have. Yeah, everyone. I mean, that's.
Everyone has not a lot.
Everybody's going to check here, I think.
But,
no, Jagup's going for a little bluff. I like it. So think logically here. Nobody. I mean, either Renakis or Tano, if they had a queen, they definitely bet the flop or the turn, 100%.
What does Jacob represent?
Well, he can represent every queen. For sure. He can represent every 3 because he was in the straddle.
But if you have a queen, would you really bet the river?
For sure.
Yeah.
It's been checked through. Wow, Renakis heroes it with Ace High. What a boss.
He didn't believe it.
Yeah, he makes the call with the Ace High. Look at Jagup, he's not happy. Good call. Fair play, Renakis. I have to give him his props. If I'm going to criticize, you also must give a compliment. He read the bluff. Good call.
That's actually incredible.
That's a big call.
And he called quickly as well.
Sure.
Yeah, read his soul.
Yeah, soul read, soul read.
Just like that.
So, check back 2 has followed. Thank you very much, my friend. Guys, did anybody win in the free roll? I didn't hear any love for it. Anyway, just to let you guys know again, anybody who did not hear earlier, we have got 2 amazing free rolls for you tomorrow. We have the 5,000 euro free roll courtesy of our friends at 32 Red Poker. So thank you to them, one of our sponsors. And also we have a 2K free roll provided by Unibet. Also another one of our affiliate sponsors. Thank you guys so much. And tune in tomorrow, guys, for the afternoon stream. We'll be starting, as usual, around about 6 p.m. Estonian time. And I will be giving out the passwords to those free rolls. Go and get some of the free money. Right, free money, right?
Free money is still always good.
7,000 euros.
Pretty nice.
You know?
Pretty nice.
Yeah.
And we can see that some people are coming into casino.
Maxime with a little Gallic look there.
Hello.
Hello indeed.
Okay, pocket 4.
Now,
gonna limp.
I mean, there's absolutely no way that he folds this hand if he's playing Jack
call,
6.
Limp call. We know how we play now.
But see, this is something that players will pick up on. If he only limps his weak hands, players can just put you in trouble. They can abuse you.
Yeah.
Here we go, though. We go 3-way to the flop. No other action. Jordan with the 10 deuce of clubs.
4, 10, king.
All right. Let's get it. So the flop is Ace Queen 3. It just shows you how hard it is to make a pair in poker. It happens so much, everyone checks. So Jagup now has the best hand with a pair of kings. Everyone checks.
Check.
Now Jagup will probably go for a small bit of value with his king.
You think?
Yeah. Jordan made a little bluff, not going to work.
Small bet.
Yeah, and Jagup calls with the king.
Okay.
Takes it down.
I will go back to finish TV table.
All right, sure.
I wish a good night to everyone and see you tomorrow. Enjoy your evening too, and I hope you enjoy the action tonight in Tallinn.
Beautiful.
Players start to arrive, and we're gonna have.
Yeah, we're gonna get more action. What a boss! Thanks, Maxime.
Thanks
you
for
joining.
the nice explanation.
Absolutely
I learned a
no
lot tonight.
problem.
Ciao.
Cheers, buddy. See you later. Bon nuit.
Ah, merde.
Bon nuit, buddy. Alright, guys, so back solo with me, your commentator, Andrew Hedley. If you guys want to get in touch with me on social media, you can follow me at Picasso2Poker on Twitter, or you can find me on Facebook, also Andrew John Hedley. If you guys want to ask me any questions or, you know, anything relating to the stream, please let me know. So, folding round to Evert. He has the King Queen, for sure going to be opening this hand. Makes it €8. Jordan on the button, lets it go. Now jag up, interesting spot in the small blind. This hand can play well as a 3-bet. I believe that he will go for it. I like how jag up has been playing so far. Makes it €31. Sizing looks good. Now Renakis, you know he loves the game, right? You know he loves the game. He is going to call. Now Evert deciding to get out of the way with the King Queen off, which is reasonable. Maybe for the price, though, he could have been tempted to call. In position against Jagup and Renakis, who's been playing a few too many pots, in my opinion. Now, if this comes Jack High, we're going to have fireworks. Flop is Deuce 3-5 with 2 hearts. Roseboom, what hands would you call with in the small blind? Do you mean at the stack depth, Roseboom? Now this is usually just going to go bet and a fold. You never know with Renakis though, right? He may elect to float or call and, you know, thinking he has the best hand. Doesn't like to fold, guys. We have seen that much, and that is for sure. 100 big blinds deep. I don't have that much of a flat range, to be honest, in the small blind. Excuse me. Perhaps in, you know, heads-up situations, I'm very rarely actually flattening in the small. Maybe if it goes raise, you know, call, then we can just complete in the small blind with all the baby pairs, all the mid-range suited connectors and stuff like this can all play fine as a flat. Renakis, does he just take it down with a bet? Wow! Jagup is hating life. Unbelievable. You know what, Renakis, okay, I've been flaming him a bit for some of his hand selections, but fair play to him. He's showing heart post-flop and putting the bluffs in when they need to be executed. Nice hand, sir. Yeah, Roseboom, like I was saying, in a multi-way pot, then the small blind range, you know, can obviously widen. In general, I don't really play a peel strategy in the small 100 bigs deep. You want to come in?
I do, but actually may call me out.
No, he won't. He's away to finish the table.
Yeah, I'm saying if he needs help
whatever.
with that,
Okay.
it's tricky with the mix.
So, guys, Mr. Jason Glatzer, a.k.a. the Wacky Jackson, going to join us for a little stint. Hello, buddy. So, Jordan in the cutoff. I expect him to open with this hand. Very standard. Now, Renakis has been playing like every hand. So, he is for sure not going anywhere with King Queen. Probably going to peel. And as we can see, he actually dominates Jordan's hand. If this comes King High, it could be a bit of trouble for Jordan. So anyway, the flop comes Ace-5 Deuce. Now Renakis has shown himself to be sticky post-flop. You know, even if Jordan c-bets here, which I expect him to do, I honestly would not be surprised to see Renakis call. He's going to let this one go, it looks like. He does.
If you're going to let something go, you can let this one go.
Sure.
How has Henry been playing?
Pretty well. He made a very nice bluff with 5-6 of diamonds in a multi-way pot. Not too much else to speak of, really. A couple of chops. Nothing, you know, too out of the realms. But he'll be in a small profit for the table, I'm sure.
Good.
Yeah. He's up around about €100.
I'd like him to be up a small profit and for a substance to troll him on, though. But
exactly,
we don't have
I
that
know.
second part.
We haven't had the troll part yet. But he's up about €120.
€120.
Pretty sweet.
Good for him.
Ed is the big winner thus far, I believe. I think he's up €500. He won a big flip against Maddis with the Ace King of Hearts. He has left the table now, actually, I just noticed.
He comes back, I believe, though.
Okay. So we have Jag up in the cutoff. Now we have a straddle. That was the only reason to explain that open. Now Renakis has been very... Oh, he's going for the 3-bet, I believe. I'm loving him, to be honest. Jag up is over him, I'll tell you that much for free. He executed a float bluff against Jag up and won with King Jack against Jag up's Ace Jack. So there is no way that Jag up folds here. The question is, will he 4-bet or will he flat? With pocket 8s, I think he will just call. It makes sense.
With the stack sizes,
I mean,
makes sense.
Renakis has not 3-bet once also, so Jag up will be concerned about that. Oh, could be in trouble here. I mean, he's going to have to call one here.
Yeah, at least one.
If Renakis bets, he's definitely going to have to call one.
If Renakis gets tricky, though, it could mean...
I expect
Jag
Renakis
up's
just
in
to
for a
bet,
turn
to be
out
honest.
river.
And look at this, he bets big, and I kind of like it because you level your opponent here into just thinking that they're trying to buy the pot. I think Jag up will call one, I really do. No,
Wow.
gets away, good read.
It must have been the 3-bet.
Yeah, I mean, Renakis really has only 3-bet once, so that automatically will set alarm bells, you know, going off in your head.
It's other than hitting your set, you have to like the spot with pocket 8s.
For sure.
You're not looking for too much more.
No, I mean, Jag up is a very accomplished player. I hear he is a spin and go coach here in Estonia, so well played, sir. So we should be maybe down to the last sort of 30 minutes of the stream, maybe even a little less, actually. Looks to me as if the players actually maybe leaving the table. So probably about 15-20 minutes left, guys. So
What
stick
did Jordan
with
buy it
us.
for?
500 at the 2-2, so
he's up €1.
pretty much level, yeah.
I think he was up a little bit on the when it was 5.
On the 5-10, I think he was down just a little, but nothing major. We haven't had that much action, actually, like not any crazy action.
And Henry's back, so
Henry's
maybe we
on
give
the
him
side.
some time in the booth. With Henry, can you sit in without giving spoilers? Do you think that's possible?
I mean, you can let him have his coffee, all good.
Yeah.
So Jag up makes it €17 to go in the hijack with the 10 Jack of Diamonds. Henry flicks the call in with the 6s on the button. Fairly standard stuff when there is a straddle involved. And as we can see, Evert has been pretty card dead actually at this table. He does fold, so we're going to go heads up to the flop. Jag up versus Henry. As you can see, basically an exact flip in terms of equity.
Although I much
And what a life for the Mr. Henry. Oh, what a life for the Henry Kilbane. Bottom set against the top pair. Now, definitely need to start betting here against the check. By the way, I really like the check from Jag up. I don't like that check back from Henry whatsoever. We need to start betting. We can build a pot. All of the hands that can check call for pot control. We want to. Well, I mean, now this is a mandatory bet. And
yeah, there's too many draws.
very interesting that Jag up checks the turn. I think he knows his hand. He thinks his hand's good. Excuse me. So Henry has to bet turn like always here. Thank you, sir. I like this sizing actually. Close to pot. Jag up obviously has to call the turn. I would bet the flop with the set of 6s, but I like the turn sizing, close to pot. We can represent some bluffs, we can represent some, 8s. Oh, wow. Now, this is an interesting spot. I would bet the river. The only hands that we're like massively concerned about is pocket 8s.
What do you do though if you bet the river and Jag up then jams it? Do you just let it go?
We can bet fold. I think we have to bet river here with our set, to be honest. Okay, Jag up can sometimes have a set of 7s or pocket 8s. Maybe a set of 10s could play the hand the same. But there are all of the weaker Jack X, 9X, some Queen 10s, and I probably c-bet stem. It's okay to check back, not the worst. Personally, I'm betting the flop because as we can see here, Jag up is definitely check call and flop. And then on the turn, we get to set up a river shove when we barrel. So I think we must bet fold this river, personally. In any case.
It was a bit passive there, I think, and on the flop.
It's one of these runouts where once the hand has been played like it has, it's perfectly feasible for Jag up to have like a set of 7s on the river. He can have pocket 8s for sure.
You're getting value still.
He could have pocket 10s, but I would.
Jacks and 10s. Never mind the Jack 10 combination. You're still going to get value.
I mean, I would just be an auto flop bet for me with bottom set. Anyway, on we go.
So well.
We have some of our players in the background, guys.
We have many of our
No
players.
spoilers,
in the
please.
fact.
Nope, spoilers. So Tannel in the small, electing to limp. Interesting. But imagine he's going to play a limp call strat here against Evert. I certainly would. We have the straddle from Jordy. Jordan flicking in the call with the queen jack off. And we're going to go three-way to the pot. Looks like a pot of around about 90
A bit
euros.
loose, but he's in position. It's fine.
Yeah. Now if this comes queen high, it could be some trouble for Tannel. Oh wow, here we go.
This is action.
Now this is action. Everybody with the piece. Tannel with top pair with a mid-range kicker. I don't like this bet from Evert. I think, you know, once we elect to like raise pre, it's basically a disaster here if we get raised. Jordy can obviously never fold. This is actually a candidate to raise and call off. We are getting close to the end of the stream. I'm not saying I would always do it. He has to at least call. With the Queen of Hearts in our hand, I like raising more. Means that if our opponent does somehow just call or raise, we can jam on heart turns, represent, you know, all of the range of Queen X of Hearts flushes. Kind of would like to see Jordy play this. I love this. Honestly, I would raise to get it in here. You know, you can raise and maximize your fold equity, and when they put it in, it's very sigh. But we get to call off. We're drawing to the nuts. Well played, Jordy.
There's no shame in taking the hand down right here now.
Played it perfectly. I like it a lot. No, it's very well played. I
and
like
we're not
it.
saying that just because
I
Jordy
can't drink on
happens
the
to be
stream,
sitting right next to us.
That's one of the only pots I won.
Renakis with the
Not on the
77% VPIP. Franke would be proud.
He would, yeah. Renakis got involved a lot, I'm not going to lie. You know what, to be fair to him, I thought he played way too many hands, but there were some hands that he played and he executed some nice bluffs, so if you're going to criticize some, you got to give some props for
Wait
the
a minute,
good.
I'm there, but I'm also here.
Sure, I know.
This is freaky.
Jack's Inception here up in the booth. He executed a very nice bluff with the King Jack off Renakis that I really liked. Anyway, last few hands, guys, before the end of the stream. Ed on some sort of fruity cocktail, loving that. Looks like a...
Yeah.
It's just the smoothie. You can rot, Ed. Anyway. Right, here we go. Round two. Oh, Jordy in the big blind has a beautiful hand, the old King Queen of Hearts. Now, I think there's still a straddle in place, so I'd imagine Jordy's going to raise here.
Otherwise, the hand would be over already.
I'd expect Jordy to make this...
Although the pot is already 79, so something happened.
We made it 175. What's happened here?
We missed
it's a 40 straddle. Okay.
Okay. So it straddled all the way around the 40, so it went
He's getting jacked off. He was like...
He's got the jack this off and he's in the tank, the kid. I'm loving it, Renakis. Put it in his eye.
He was giving me the chat.
He's giving him the stare down. Love it. I'm loving Renakis, to be honest. There we go.
He almost went with the jam.
He folds. Henry gonna fold the King 9. Very mandatory stuff.
Give me the chat as well.
Jordan getting feisty at the end of the stream here.
I mean, this is very standard, actually. With a 40 straddle, there's so much dead money to pick up. We have a hand as strong as King Queen of Hearts. Ed can't do anything. Jordy's gonna win this pot, I believe.
Unless Eddie does a flip out here.
He's not gonna do anything here.
If it was Franke, we would see a flip out.
Frankie would be all in, I would imagine. So Jordy is going to pick up some nice dead money, which is always nice. Picks up 77 euros without showdown. So guys, last couple of hands, I believe. Oh, that was the last hand, guys.
Oh boy.
Stream went pretty quickly today, all things considered. So guys, I would just leave you with some final info before we shut out the stream. 2 more days of Cash Game Festival action left, guys, here in Tallinn. I will be here in the booth every day. Myself and Henry Kilbane will be here right through to the 29th of April. So tomorrow, guys, join me here, 6 p.m. Estonian time for the next stream. Also, we have those 2 big free rolls to give away. Thanks to our partners at 32 Red Poker and Unibet. 7,000 euros of free money on the line, guys. So that is it. So all that leaves is for me to thank Mr. Wacky Jackson, Mr. Henry Kilbane. Nice nitty play with the 60s. Got to get a little rub down in. Guys, we will see you tomorrow. All the best. Enjoy your night. See you tomorrow, 6 p.m. Estonian time. Good night.
someone who's never been here before, I would probably tell them, depending on if they're an intro player or if they're a more experienced player, there's games for everybody.